everyone. Welcome to History with Hersefet. I'm your host, Chris, aka Hersefet. Today on the podcast, we'll be continuing our discussion of the decade that was the 2010s with the year 2016. The views shared on this podcast come from your everyday, ordinary people. My hope is that it'll give you a unique perspective on history. Future podcasts will be doing the years 2017 and 2018. And for those that listen to our podcast via Spotify, Apple, or Google, we also have a YouTube channel showcasing a number of top-notch videos highlighting some borderline funny moments from our podcast for your viewing pleasure. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Back with us once again, after a little bit of a delay, we've got Brad and Nick.
All right.
Yeah.
Good to have you guys. Hello.
Yeah.
Been a little bit. Finally got things back on track. A few things interesting that happened in the month or and a half or whatever it was that we were off. The two videos that we made, mainly the was it the worst movies of '93, right? We haven't actually I don't know, we discussed it much between ourselves, but got a lot of flack. I wasn't expecting. I didn't realize there were that many Demolition fans out there. I was kind of taken back. They're all wrong, but they're there. I didn't realize it. The most ever in terms of like comments, likes, dislikes, especially dislikes, that we've ever had. It was a shining moment. Apparently, that is a beloved movie. I remember one of the comments being someone saying that this movie has predicted things that have happened in our current day. It hasn't. It hasn't. But maybe with the IFV stuff, where the frozen embryos now being people, maybe we can freeze people now, and it's not like a big deal. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We're
not using 3 seashells or being fined for cursing.
Well, maybe you just don't know how to use the seashells.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Get off my case about that.
But yes, very, very interesting. Welcome. I don't. If someone has a different, I imagine most people probably do have a different opinion. But I mean, it was. I just wasn't expecting that much blowback. It's fucking Demolition. Who gives a shit? No one's saying about the other movies though. I guess those are okay. I think they only watched the first 30 seconds. They're like, you know what, fuck it. That's it.
Yeah, how dare they make fun of Demolition Man and then they turn it off?
Yeah, like
maybe.
I guess what was it, Son-in-Law? No, nobody stuck up for that movie. Nobody stuck up for Teenage Mutant Turtles 3 or whatever. No one stuck up for RoboCop 3 or Weekend at Bernie's 2. It was just Demolition Man. That's what did it. And the other video, the great Toby Keith, unfortunately passed away in the time that we were off there, and so we made a video for him. Bradley made a video. I just did the photo and whatnot, but that also got some negative comments.
It did, yeah. Those are great. I enjoyed those.
There's 4 comments it says, but I only see 3, so I don't know.
Yeah,
what's going on with that. So either it's not like being held for review or anything. It might just be a bot, but
No, maybe it was the ghost of Toby Keith.
Maybe.
And YouTube doesn't allow ghosts to comment, so they deleted it.
It's against their rules, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
He's not as good as he once was.
No, definitely not. All right. We will, I guess with that, we'll jump right into our weird news of the week. I think you guys will like this. Nick got a little bit of a spoiler here, but I don't think Brad saw it, so.
No, I saw it.
Okay. So
I saw everything.
The title from the New York Post is Priest Cuts Off His Own Penis During Crazed Mental Break Following Tick Bite.
Following what fight? What?
Priest cuts off his own penis during crazed mental break following tick bite.
Tick bite, gotcha.
Tick bite. Oh, so it's like a Lyme disease thing, I'm guessing.
He should have done a tick check. A priest in the Czech Republic sliced off his own penis with a knife after he was allegedly driven psychotic by a tick bite. We don't know exactly what happened. It was probably a health problem. The mayor of, I'm not even going to bother to pronounce this town, but somewhere in southern Bohemia, where the alarming incident occurred, told local media. According to Czech outlets, locals first realized something was awry after the unnamed clergyman failed to show up to a prearranged meeting. Paramedics busted down his door, after which they found the priest lying unconscious in a pool of blood with his penis. The imperiled man of God was subsequently rushed to the local emergency room, where medics discovered that he also sustained injuries to his genitals. Due to his deteriorating condition, doctors put the man into an induced coma and placed him on a ventilator, which he remained on for 10 days, the Daily Mail reported. Unfortunately, medics had difficulty finding out what had transpired beforehand due to his comatose state. He is lying unconscious in the ARO ward critical care unit. David Hensel, vicar general of the, not going to pronounce it, diocese, told local. Due to these circumstances, it is impossible to find out what really happened. However, doctors did discover central damage to the patient's nervous system, which appeared to be viral in origin, per the religious leader's testimony. Hensel claimed that the priest had suffered from tick-borne encephalitis, also known as TBE, which is the swelling of the brain caused by a tick-transmitted disease. In its advanced stages, the condition can induce personality changes and even psychosis, which was believed to be the case with the priest. According to the European Center for the Disease Prevention and Control, the Czech Republic is one of the countries with the highest incidence of TBE in Europe, recording between 500 to 1,000 cases per year. The risk is particularly great in southern Bohemian region, where the incident occurred. Meanwhile, the clergyman was also said to be experiencing health problems the day before the incident. Authorities have since ruled out any foul play. We are not investigating any illegal actions, said the Matzner, a spokesman for South Bohemian Police. Unfortunately, Eastern Europe isn't the only place where ticks are wreaking havoc. The annual number of tick-borne diseases causes more than doubled in the U.S. over the past 2 decades amid rising tick populations, climate change, and improved methods of tracking diseases. I read that really funny. So, yeah. The annual number of tick-borne disease cases has more than doubled in the U.S. over the past 2 decades amid rising tick populations, climate change, and improved methods of tracking diseases. Lyme disease is far and away the most prevalent. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention records some 36,000 cases each year, with a large concentration occurring in New York. Just another reason never to go there. Over the past decade, the Empire State has seen an average of 6,700 new cases of Lyme disease each year, with over 8,000 in 2019 alone. To prevent contracting the disease, experts advise wearing long sleeves and pants before venturing outdoors, and coating one's skin with repellents like DEET, or spraying the insecticide permethrin on clothes and hiking shoes. They should also conduct meticulous body checks after returning home from hike. If if an embedded blood, they really stretched for that one. They were reaching. They had none. All
They didn't have any. Yeah.
about that. That's all they had, probably. If an embedded bloodsucker is located, the CDC advises removing it with fine point tweezers using slow and steady pressure, making sure to get as close to the skin as possible to extract the barbed mouth parts. And that is the article. So yeah, priest got some swelling of the brain, went psychotic, and decided to cut off his own penis.
Yeah, that's just terrifying.
I
That's just more terrifying than weird.
This is our terrifying news of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to think there's probably some sort of deep psychosis that goes with cutting off your own penis. Like, it has to be some sort of like, this thing is, I can see it. Maybe it's me reaching here just a bit, but I imagine being a priest and being celibate. I imagine their priest is celibate, or, being sexual adventurous in any sort of way is frowned upon in his community. So I imagine he spent a great deal of time and in a battle with his own penis, and has eventually, had he broke down, he decided, this, you've given me so much trouble throughout the years. Let's see how you like this. And yeah, that's my guess. I think there's I think there's a
I
bill
mean,
where he
yeah.
talks like priest saying like, "Does my penis make me a bad boy? Where's the tower? Where's the gun? Tower? Where's the gun?" Yeah,
Right.
sort of, yeah. That's what I got. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Nick.
Oh, no, I was just saying, he just got that viral infection in his brain that just maybe made him hallucinate or think differently, that could make people do anything, or, so that, but that could also be a reason like behind it that could have been a motivator behind the hallucination,
Mhm.
Yeah,
For sure.
perhaps.
Have you guys
I'm
ever?
thinking maybe maybe it wasn't such a bad thing. At least now all the boys are safe. All the altar boys are safe now. You know,
It'll
yeah.
just get passed on to another parish. It'll, it's just
Yeah, that's true.
They'll probably reattach his penis, and then it'll be okay.
test it out. Do you guys ever know anybody with Lyme disease? Anybody ever gotten Lyme disease?
No.
No, I remember having like a tick on my head as a little kid.
Okay.
I didn't even know it was there, and my parents found it. And I think they did tweezers, or
Mm,
no, or they did a match.
right.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've heard
one
of
or the
that.
other. No, I think it was tweezers because I remember looking in the mirror and my mom just like lifting this huge like bloated tick
Ugh.
out of my head with its little legs, its little 8
Ugh.
legs going. And yeah, that's like burned into my memory as a child.
To
Ugh.
bring I once had a
Yeesh.
tick in my ear.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And my grandpa noticed it. And he was like, Mary? No, my mom. Christopher's got a tick in his ear. Come on. And we go to the bathroom.
Come on. Come on.
All right.
Something you
Gather around, everyone.
Like, hold him down, Mary. Hold him down. And I remember he tilted my head and he reached in with tweezers in my ear and he just pulled it out. Oh, there we go. Just easy peasy. I didn't
Nice.
look at it,
That's
none of that.
awesome.
Yeah, but he just he noticed it and pulled it out. Nick once had a leech for a friend. I remember that. We went to the beach and he found a leech.
Yeah.
And he said that we had to pry it off his finger. He's like, no,
Yeah.
it's my blood. He's sucking your blood. I asked what was going
I'm
on.
pretty sure leeches are okay, right? If they get on you, they're they just suck your blood. They don't do anything else.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
think
Probably.
like a key lime disease or something like that. I don't know. There's some sort of
Key lime disease?
lemon lime disease
Lemon lime disease?
for leeches. I don't get so, but I knew one person who did get Lyme disease. A friend of mine. We all know him. His name's Tony. We're just gonna go with that. He was venturing out in the woods as he was wont to do, and he got a tick on himself, and also how he's wont to do. Never noticed, and days went by with a tick on his arm. Didn't notice until finally he started like getting like tired and all that stuff and feeling lethargic and having all sorts of like issues, and finally someone noticed, I don't remember who did, that he had a giant, like the tick head was on his arm and there was like a giant red circle, like a crazy, almost like
Mhm.
getting hit with a really large ball, but it was just like this. It was crazy. Like just left a mark on him, this perfectly large circle from where his arm, and it extended up to his shoulder and shit. So yeah, he went to the hospital, I believe. Yeah, he was in the hospital for a little while, and I think it had started with him not being able to eat meat for a while, and then he just kind of just kept that, so he just stopped eating meat. But yeah, a tick,
Damn.
crazy. All right, well, thank you guys, thank you. We will now move on to our timeline portion of the podcast with the timeline of the year 2016.
This is going to be a tough play. The Cubs move the World Series.
The Occupy Wall Street movement is reaching a flashpoint.
Carl!
There have been 2 explosions today at the Boston Marathon. 2 explosions near the finish line just a short while ago.
The Lannisters send their regards.
Court making same-sex legal.
Steve Jobs, the visionary founder and leader of Apple Computer, has died at the age of 56.
So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.
Thousands of women around the world spoke out against sexual harassment using just 2 words, Me Too.
Eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
President Trump has just been impeached on both Article 1, abuse of power, and on Article 2, obstruction of Congress.
And on January 10th, 2016, David Bowie dies of liver cancer at his New York City apartment at the age of 69. Bowie had released his last album, Blackstar, merely 2 days before his death. The album would enter the Billboard 200 at number 1, a Bowie first. A larger-than-life figure, David Bowie is regarded as a highly influential artist-musician with a career spanning 47 years. Known for the songs Space Oddity, Let's Dance, Changes, Heroes, Life on Mars, among many others. Perhaps the biggest thing in David Bowie's career would be the Goblin King's package in the 1986 movie Aladdin.
Of course.
Uh, favorite Bowie song, is there possible? I think yours is Life on Mars, right, Brad? Or,
Yeah, I love that song. That whole album is wonderful.
yeah. Um,
I was at work and I was like randomly on Reddit and it's like David Bowie died. It was like, what?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I had gotten I listened to Blackstar, you know. It's like, ooh, a new Bowie record. I'm like, oh, this is dark shit. You know, this is like really like yeah, it's just like that song Lazarus, like look up here, I'm in heaven is one of the lyrics. It's like, oh man, this is some dark stuff. And then 2 days later he dies. It's like, oh fuck. Like he knew he was gonna die, and that's why he made that album, you know?
Yep. Absolutely.
It's perfect. Perfect way to end a career, really.
Yeah. That's that was David Bowie. Just like perfection. Really just phenomenal. I'm
Well,
David.
he had some crap
Well,
in there, but
I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was, well, I could be wrong here. He was like contractually obligated to record albums, and he didn't want to do it because he did like he changed up his sound, and he with like Let's Dance and stuff like that in the early '80s, late '70s.
Mhm.
It was such a big
yeah,
hit. They just wanted more of that, and it just got worse.
I mean,
Like
man, I can go on about Bowie forever, but yeah, in a way that got worse because he kind of went with the trends, or he set the trends, really.
Yeah.
But like randomly, in like it was sometime in the '90s, he released an album called Outside, and it's like this really awesome, like jazzy kind of like industrial album.
Interesting.
And yeah, and that's like a real highlight for me. In between a bunch of like just mediocre kind of music.
Gotcha. Nick, any thoughts on David Bowie songs, favorite song?
Oh yeah. Well, I'd have to say that my favorite album, but it's not just my favorite album. I personally consider this one of the greatest albums of all time, as the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and Spiders from Mars.
Yep.
Every song on there is a banger, every single one. And I don't know, man. It's one of the best albums ever. If you haven't heard it or haven't listened to it, just do it.
Yeah,
From beginning
I
to
agree completely.
beginning to end.
One of the things because I'm really leaning towards doing the '70s decade and then kind of calling it with that, moving on to different, alleys and whatever venues that History with Hirschfeld can work with. But the '70s with music is going to be insane. I mean, insane. I mean, it's pretty much going to be the entire thing, just us talking about music. I mean, I think in '70 to '72, there's like 50 classic albums where every song is ridiculously awesome. It just like, how is this even possible? So yeah, ridiculous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I've done that where I like looked up like a random year, like in the '70s. It's like all those albums came out that one year. Like holy shit! Like what a time to be alive.
Led Zeppelin 1 and 2 was like released from like 1969 to 1972. Led Zeppelin 1, 2, and 3 was released, maybe even 4. Like insane. Like how the fuck do you do that in such a short amount of time? It just blows my mind. Anyway, all right, we'll move on now to February 7th in 2016. On February 7th, North Korea launches a reconnaissance satellite named Kwangmong-song 4 into space. It is condemned internationally as a long-range ballistic missile test. Kim Jong-un would reassure the world that all North Korean satellites look like long-range ballistic missiles, and there was nothing to worry about. It's merely a stylistic decision. On March 30th, 2016, R&B singer-songwriter Brandy files a lawsuit against her label, Chameleon Entertainment Group, for allegedly blocking her from recording and releasing new music. In response, Chameleon Entertainment would show Brandy's lawyers that it wasn't them, that they were simply abiding by the Office of Homeland Security, who viewed Brandy's music as an ongoing domestic terrorist attack. On April 21st, 2016, seven-time Grammy Award winner Prince dies at his recording studio in Minnesota at the age of 57. A multi-talented, multi-instrumental, exceptional performer, Prince is regarded as one of, if not the greatest musicians of the last 40 years. His live shows were legendary. His chops were undeniable. His fashion sense, questionable. All right, Prince. uh, Favorite song, favorite moment, Prince. I've got a couple of them. I can start off. Oh, go on.
Yeah, I never really got into Prince.
Okay.
Besides, like, When Doves Cry and Party Like It's 1999, and so, but I do respect the man, definitely.
Nick, you ever watch any Prince stuff or?
Well, there's a song by Prince that sticks out to me only because like I was really baked and we were on our way like into Astoria, like in Oregon, and we were seeing like the seaside, and this song "I Would Die for You" comes on, and it just like hit me, like it was great. It was so good. And yeah, no, that's and I was like, what is this? And I thought I'd looked into it later and I found out it was Prince. But anyway, I thought it was hilarious too, thinking later on that I think that Prince was actually Jesus Christ who returned. And he just became a fucking sensation, right? I
Wait,
swear to
what?
God, dude, because he's got that song, right? I Would Die for You. Prince of Peace, right? Prince.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's all I've got so far, but I'm working on it.
Yep. Keep working.
So, all right, so he was Jesus reincarnated. He
Exactly. Well,
came back as Prince.
Well, it's not necessarily that.
Then,
it was the actual like the New Testament's what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It was their idea. There's another word for it. I can't think of it, but prophecy. Thank you. The prophecy in the New Testament. It's fucking Prince. That's Jesus who returned, and that's what it is. That's my conspiracy.
Okay, but
I'm
then
working
he
on
died
it.
again. So
that's true. That's true.
So he came back, and then he's just like they don't get the prophecy. So then he died.
Pretty
again.
much, yeah.
Like,
I think it's all hidden.
He'll come back again. In 30 years as someone else.
It's possible it's all hidden in his music. I'm working on it.
Okay, all right.
He's got a vault with like hours and hours and hours of just music he's never released.
Mm-hmm.
And he was another artist that had issues with his record label, and his way of going about it was to rename himself as just a symbol to fuck with the whole thing. So I remember one time he was on Jay Leno, and Mariah Carey had just signed some groundbreaking, they thought, record deal, and Prince broke it down in like 2 sentences. He's like, how much money did she get made? Right. Okay. How many album sales has she made for just this album? She's got 4 more. So let's just assume it's the same. How much money has that company made? And it's like $1 billion, and Mariah Carey's made 48 million. He's like, she got reamed. He's like, he shouldn't have done that. So that would be my advice. I was like,
Yeah.
that's why he's Prince. But no, anyway, so a couple of my favorite moments, Prince moments. Well, in terms of songs, yeah, obviously, Little Red Corvette, 1999, When Doves Cry, Kiss, all that stuff. And there, watch his movies. It seemed a bit too, I don't know, corny for me. I probably wouldn't stop laughing. Anyway, but his performance with what's his name? Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, George Harrison's son, a bunch of people where they did like a benefit. I believe it might have been I don't think it was for George Harrison, because I think that was much later, it was a few years later after he died. But it was a benefit for somebody, and they had Prince playing on While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And they've got everyone playing it, and they let Prince do the final solo for this song. And I highly recommend checking it out. He just blows the roof off. It's insane. It's a crazy ass solo, and it just like it makes everyone else kind of look like they're just trying to keep up with Prince. And then at the end of the song, he takes his guitar and he just chucks it into the air, but the camera you never see it fall down. He chucks it straight up into the air, and then he walks off the stage. He doesn't say anything. He's like, all right, I'm done, and he fucks off. But you never
there
see
you
his
go.
on the ground. ever.
It's pretty awesome to see that. Yeah, it was for George Harrison for when he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
so,
yeah, he throws the guitar up, and yeah, it never comes down. It's like he banished it. Just like I am done with this guitar. I've done this incredible solo. I will never be, I will never play better on this guitar. So blah, and he just gets banished to like the shadow realm or whatever.
and my last thing, we'll move on here.
Dude, hold on. He put it back. He threw it up, and it went back up onto a stand in his room in heaven. That's what happened.
Ah, okay.
Like here, Dad, catch.
Yeah, he gave it to his dad, God,
Right? Yeah.
who then continued to play a killer solo in heaven. But we couldn't hear it because it's in heaven.
Right.
But he played for like all the angels and all the dead people up there. Yeah.
All right.
The
the time.
2006 Super Bowl, the halftime show, Prince was the musical guest. And the reason that I really stuck out to me is the last time the Chicago Bears were in the Super Bowl. So it was the Bears and the Colts, and it was in Miami. It was pouring rain, pouring, when halftime was going on. And in the middle of the pouring rain, he plays Purple Rain, and you could not have had like a more perfect mix-up. And he's again flawless, and it is drenching. It is just a monsoon of rain, and he plays that solo like it's clear day, like it's crazy. Like you would think his finger would slip or something would just be off. And there's not a single off at any of it. It was really well done. And there was a couple crazy things. I think some of the performers tripped on some wiring and unplugged it, and someone had to stand there and keep it plugged in while the rain's pouring on them. Like thinking like I could get electrocuted and die here any second. But yeah, that is another performance I recommend highly to check out. Yeah. And he also got in trouble because he was soloing with like the shadow. He was like, there was like a tarp or like a sheet that came up, and Prince's shadow was like what was being viewed, and he was stroking his guitar in a suggestive way. And so people were like, what the hell? Oh, what's going on here? All right. Yeah. Yeah, it's Prince.
Yeah.
All right. On May 28th, 2016, gorilla Harambe is shot and killed at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden in an incident involving a child and becomes a global meme. Harambe would make a comeback as a write-in for the presidency of the United States in November. He received 1% of the vote.
It's so true. I have something to say about Harambe, actually.
Go on.
Des and I actually ended up going to the Cincinnati Zoo about like a year later.
Oh, really?
And we passed the Harambe, what is that called? The enclosure. Thank you. And it was obviously it was still closed, but it was pretty surreal. Seeing it on just the whole hype about the whole thing, seeing it on the internet, and the whole fucking him running and shit. That's so funny. People putting him on the fucking ballot. But then actually go into the enclosure. It was pretty wild, and no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the bullets struck in the hood.
I just remember dicks out for Harambe. Well, whatever that meant, it was like some sort of internet meme thing.
Jesus Christ!
Like in remembrance of Harambe, it's like dicks out for Harambe.
Hey,
I mean, I thought it was really shitty. I mean, how many of those gorillas are left, and how many little kids are there? I mean,
right?
Yeah,
way more kids.
And I don't think Harambe would have hurt the kid, right?
I don't believe so. There's actually video footage of
There's a video of the whole thing.
Oh, really? I never saw that.
There's video footage of like that sort of situation happening before, like around other zoos, where like a baby fell in, like a 2-year-old kid, and a gorilla just cradled it as if it was her own.
Right. Usually their instinct is to just protect it, since it's very much like an infant of their own, and it makes the same sounds.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll move on now.
Typically, but it could also rip it apart. You never know.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, that is a problem.
On June 23rd, 2016, tired of paying dues, the United Kingdom votes in a referendum to leave the European Union in what would later be called Brexit. On July 6, 2016, the augmented reality mobile game Pokemon Go is released, breaking numerous records in terms of sales and revenue. It would be the last time the American public would be collectively enjoying life while getting a decent amount of exercise.
Yep.
So true.
Yeah, that is true. I played that a little bit. I remember some of my like people I work with and some other friends of mine were like, Pokemon, it's so fucking stupid. It's just like, I don't know. People are just like out walking around and
Yeah.
having fun, you
Yeah,
know? I don't know.
It was a bad. I had fun with. I had fun. We went to like a park in like a neighboring town. Where we
Yeah.
walked around our own town, and we found like there's a spot where there was like a gym, where someone was like, and we knew the person in town who was like the leader of that gym.
Yep.
I was
They
like,
probably still are.
yeah, and I was
They
like,
probably still are.
take them down, and all that shit. So
Oh yeah, I was playing Pokemon Go at work at the time when I worked midnights, and I worked with this other guy who was like my age, and we were like smoking cigarettes in his car, and I had Pokemon Go going, and he brought up some meme, like with like Clint Eastwood, and it said like, "Oh, you like Pokemon Go? Turn in your man card." I'm just like, okay, I'll turn it in. He just kind of laughed and didn't say anything. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a fucking. I grew up with Pokemon, didn't you? He's just like, no. It's like, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Ask him if he uses conditioner, turn in his man card.
Yeah, right.
what do you even do with a man card? Anyway, on August 12th.
What? Yeah. Other than turn it in.
Right. No, but you don't.
We don't get any discounts or anything on anything, you know? Like, what the fuck?
August 12th, 2016, Thomas Gibson is dismissed from the cast of Criminal Minds. The firing of Gibson, who had played Aaron Hotchner on the CBS crime drama since its September 2005 premiere, comes after his involvement in an on-set argument with series writer co-executive producer Virgil Williams over an episode storyline, which led to Gibson physically assaulting Williams by kicking the writer in the shin. On September 9th, 2016, the government of North Korea conducts its fifth and reportedly biggest nuclear test. World leaders condemn the act, with South Korea calling it maniacal recklessness. Kim Jong-un claimed that he was well within his right to conduct the test, as he was the inventor of the nuclear fission and the George Foreman grill. October 7th, 2016, U.S. intelligence agencies publicly accused the Russian government of using computer hacking to interfere with the U.S. election process. Also on the 7th of October, the Washington Post releases a videotape showing candidate Donald Trump privately bragging about sexual improprieties. Also on October 7th, WikiLeaks releases thousands of private emails from inside the political campaign of candidate Hillary Clinton. October 7th would forever be known as the Fuck Up Your Rival Candidate's Campaign Day, a national holiday. Isn't that crazy? All on the same day? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, I'm not like a conspiracy sort of deal, but it's all the same day.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like, we've decided we're going to attack now, and with so many weeks leading up to the election, this is our last chance to try and swing the votes in our favor, or whatever it is. And yeah, just crazy. On November 2nd, 2016, I remember this. This is one of I'll just read it. On November 2nd, 2016, the Chicago Cubs win the World Series for the first time since 1908. And the longest championship drought in North American sports history. Immediately following the win, Chicago Cubs manager Joe Madden vowed to beat that record and immediately started the next drought. The Cubs are currently 102 years away from breaking it. Probably the best I ever saw.
The best what?
Yeah,
best baseball game I ever saw.
Oh.
And Game 7 between these two teams, it went into extra innings. Every pitch was a nail biter. Every swing of the bat, same deal. Everything.
Yeah.
You could not get more. Just the history of what you were seeing. It was either going to be a team that hadn't won in over, 108 years or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And the other team was the Cleveland Indians, back then they were called the Cleveland Indians. I don't know what the fuck they're called now, but anyway, they hadn't won in forever either. I mean, I don't know if they'd ever won actually. So like, two teams that one of them is going to come out, and it's the Cubs. I just remember watching that game and being like on the edge of my seat, and I'm never on the edge of my seat for any baseball game ever. I went to a Cubs game. I fell asleep in the bleachers. but it was easily the best baseball game. So yeah, really, really good stuff. Really
Yeah,
happy to see it.
I didn't watch it, but I watched that last play where dude hits it to the what was it, the shortstop
Yeah, I think
or
so.
the third baseman?
Yeah, he throws.
And dude, you could see the in slow motion the smile on his face as he's throwing it to first base, like he knows this is it.
Yep.
And he throws it and he just like collapses on his knees, and
Yeah.
then that was it. And I saw the video footage of outside Wrigley Field with all the big crowd and they're calling the game.
Yeah.
And just man, if you want like goosebumps, just watch that video. Like when they win, just how the crowd erupts.
Yeah. And delirium. People have lived and died, had kids that died.
Right. And, now, I talked to my dad about this when it happened because he famously dislikes the Cubs. In fact, him and I had many great times watching the Cubs lose together because it's just funny. Like if someone got like traded to the Cubs, my dad would be like, "Oh, he got exiled to the Cubs," like that sort of thing. And I'm like, "Hey, Dad, the Cubs won the World Series. What do you think?" He's just like, "Oh, only took him 100 years." That's all he had to say about that.
Right. I think there's some really great jokes about that, the whole thing, about the long drought. I think my favorite joke is usually asking like a Cubs fan, before they recently won in 2016, is to ask them who the radio announcer was, because there was no like public radio then.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know? I mean,
What's that?
what's up? I think I misunderstood you.
The joke. So the joke is basically you ask them who was the radio announcer to announce to everyone, when the Cubs won the World Series, like who, when everyone was listening in to the radio, to the game, that sort of thing, and who knows, right? So you just say, well, there was none because it wasn't publicly available, basically.
Yeah, because it was so
long ago. Like even then, like yeah.
No, you're talking about 1908.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
For some reason-
it was the joke about the drought,
That's the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part I missed. For some reason, I thought you were talking about 2016, and you were talking about, well, did they not have radio? I was like, I figured they had somebody doing it, and then I totally got sidetracked. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I got looking ahead here. All right, go Cubs. Do you think they'll do that again? I wonder if it would be a bigger thing if, they win the World Series after 108 years, and it was, this is great. Now, what happens if they go like 107 years without winning it again, and people are like, no, you can't do it. No, you can't. You have to break the record. Come on, let's give us 109 years without it. Let's do it. I want to do the opposite of it.
Now they're throwing games.
Yeah, start throwing. People get upset. Like, we've lost 109 years. All right. And lastly, on November 8th, 2016, corrupt businessman, reality TV star, vacuous demagogue, abnormally unintelligent, extraordinarily uneducated, and civilly liable rapist, Donald Trump is elected to the 45th president of the United States, predicted to be the worst president in the history of the United States. A prediction made by me on November 9th, 2016. A prediction that was as close to a layup as you can get. One that's been proven true every day since January 20th, 2017. Yes, there's never been a more obvious con job, a more obvious snake oil salesman than Donald Trump. A waddling, bloated, orange carcass who's managed to cover 90% of his head with 30% of his hair. All right.
Man, you really can't comment after that. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
I think Trump winning the presidency was a direct result of David Bowie dying and Prince.
Yeah.
But especially Bowie. After Bowie died, everything got wrong and weird.
Yeah.
We didn't have Bowie there to guide us anymore.
Actually, I could.
Yeah, it was almost like Bowie was doing some sort of like background work that was just gone unappreciated.
As the goblin.
Yeah. We weren't even aware of it.
Right.
He was guiding the world.
Right.
Incredibly
humble and noble.
Yeah. He never even mentioned it.
Right.
You remember?
And then he's like, well, when I'm out of here, they're going to be fucked.
Yeah. I'm going back to my home planet.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember thoughts on that day? Remember when you knew that Donald Trump was going to be elected the president?
I didn't. I thought it was just a huge joke until he actually won. Like I was just.
And then when he won,
I couldn't believe it, and then I was just like very disappointed.
Yeah,
I was honestly pretty. Yeah, I was definitely disappointed, and I was a mix of emotions actually. I was like disappointed. I was angry. You know, I was very bitter and like at the people that voted for him. You know, and just I felt sad for the country, and I was also pretty scared for like democracy, like our secular democracy.
yeah.
So yeah, it was and you know, a lot of the stuff that followed with it, you know, it's turned out to be, you know, pretty justified, most of my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
hey, and don't worry, it could happen again here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I remember like watching the polls because when it comes to like election seasons and even lower end ones that a lot of people don't pay attention to, I like that sort of thing. Watching like votes tally in and see who's, they're up by 4.2%, so on and so forth. They need this many votes, all that. I like watching all that unfold.
Me too.
And I watched that for the 2016 election, and I think Hillary Clinton's going to win. Now, I wasn't thrilled. I'm never thrilled with who the Democratic nominee is. I'm never really thrilled with them because they never go with the person that I would go with.
Right.
I always have to choose someone that I'm like, I guess. I simply because it's not, it's not that. At least it's not that. The others that, whatever the hell the Republic. I mean, I actually the only time that I didn't vote in 2012 because Obama did absolutely nothing in 4 years because he kept trying to reach over and be bipartisan and all that shit, but it just never worked out. And then 4 years of nothing getting better, nothing really changing, and he was running against a guy who was kind of like the same thing. It was Mitt Romney, and I just didn't vote because I was like, it doesn't matter who's the president. No one's gonna. It's too divided. No one's gonna do anything now. So I just didn't vote, and Obama won anyway. So, 2016 comes along, and I wouldn't have probably voted in 2016. But when Donald Trump became the fucking nominee, the clown show became the nominee, and I realized, well, now I have to vote. Thank you. Now I have to, and I'm not even doing it with like any real conviction here. It's just so I can say I did my part to not let that happen. And that was the gist of it. And when it didn't work out, I remember going to work the next day and seeing this kid. His name was David, and he was like, "How's it going this morning, man?" And he has like this smile on his face, but like because he knows I'm pissed. But he's not like thrilled with it either. But he just knows that I'm pissed, and that makes him laugh, which I get. And I just went off on like a little tirade. I was like, "Fucking stupid ass people! How the fuck do you vote for that dude? How is that even possible?" Yeah, and it's what it doesn't seem to matter. It is a strange time in America, strange time, and it may get worse, and it'll probably get stranger. So we might get both. We'll see.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Let's see if this conversation. We'll see what's going on in 8-9 months from now. All right, guys. Well, that will do it for our timeline of 2016. That might be our longest stretch of timeline, intro, weird news, all that. I think that was an hour. And that's just us just bullshitting.
Yeah.
That's what we're taking a month and a half off. All right. We will now move on to our movie section of the podcast with the movies of 2016.
Now is not the time for fear. That comes later.
Sell me this fucking pen right here.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? You?
$1 billion.
It was perfect.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Take your hands off my lobby boy!
Chewie. We're home.
Yeah!
Look at me, sure.
I'm the captain now.
Why do you like him?
Because he gets on base.
Not quite my tempo.
Avengers!
And the top 10 movies in terms of gross for the year 2016, number 10 was the movie Doctor Strange. I never really fully watched it. Nick, you never watched it. And Brad,
Nope.
you never.
Nope.
All right, number 9 was the number 9 highest of 2016 was the movie Suicide Squad. I didn't watch it. Nick, you didn't watch it. Brad, you didn't watch it.
Nope.
In terms of top 10 movies, number 8, the movie Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. I watched it. Nick didn't watch it. Brad did not watch it.
No, I watched it.
You did watch it? Okay.
Yeah, I watched it by myself. It was a waste of time. We have to save Martha.
Martha. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Martha's my mom's name. What?
Right? I could be.
God, that movie's so fucking stupid.
Persuaded.
Jesus Christ.
There was an animated DC movie that was called The Dark Knight Returns, I think, and it dealt with Batman and Superman fighting each other. A lot of the plot, like storylines from that comic, that novel or whatever it is, got used. That graphic novel got used for this movie. So, like, I saw that suit and I was like, oh shit, I know that. I know what storyline they're doing, but the way they went about it and every little extra thing, and I really fucking hated it. I think the thing I hated the most, even more than the Martha thing, and that's not good at all. But easily Jesse Eisenberg or whatever the hell his name is as Lex Luthor. Maybe the worst Lex Luthor, maybe one of the worst villain portrayals I've ever seen in my life. It was horrible. I don't know.
I thought
nobody said, "What are you doing, man? What are you doing?" Nobody bothered to stop him. Or go on, Brett. Sorry.
The worst part for me was at the end when they were battling Doctor. Who were they battling at the end? The giant ogre guy.
The guy that basically, I can't. He kills Superman. That's in the comics. He kills him, and I can't remember his name.
Colossus or something?
Oh, that's X-Men.
Doctor Doom.
That's fantastic.
Dude, all these fucking cartoon characters, man.
Is it the Thing?
It's not the Thing.
Oh, it could have been the Thing.
Oh, that's one of the other members of the Fantastic Four. That's Chickless.
It wasn't the
The Shield.
The Shield.
Is that the one? Is that supposed to be the story where like Superman has a kryptonite ring or something? Or no, not Superman. Batman has a kryptonite ring, kills Superman.
He's got
Is that
kryptonite.
that one?
Lex Luthor had like a kryptonite ring.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, Batman had this kryptonite into like a dust that he got, like a spray almost, and Superman inhaled it, and it got into his bloodstream, and it weakened him enough so Batman could beat the shit out of him. Much smarter, much more cool than the Lex. But the monster's name was Doomsday.
Oh, Doomsday. Okay.
Doomsday. You basically can't kill him. Go on, sorry. Go on.
Well, if you look up the Doomsday character, I guess he is kind of an ogre-looking guy, isn't he? Well, to me, they were just fighting a giant, like Lord of the Rings ogre thing.
I could see that.
And it was so exhausting to watch. I don't know. It was just so much shit exploding and so much light beams, or I don't even know what was going on.
It's got just one good thing in that movie, and
Amy Adams.
Well, okay, it's got two good things in that movie.
The ending.
Okay, it's got three good things in that where Batman is using actual Batman techniques to save Martha from all those guys. It was the first time Batman actually fought like Batman. Because in all the movies prior to that, like Michael Keaton, even Adam West, and every Batman, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, none of them fought like this. Like the suit was way too heavy. The suit was too blocky. You couldn't turn your neck. You couldn't do. Batman fought like he had like a back brace on, But Batman is like he's a martial artist, and he uses deception and smoke bombs, and he's tying all this. It's really cool stuff. That whole fight scene where he goes and rescues Martha, that's Batman. I thought that was really good, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean Ben Affleck as Batman, it worked.
Yeah,
I thought that he was good as Batman.
All right, number 7, seventh highest grossing movie of the year 2016. Number 7 was the movie Zootopia. I haven't seen it. Brad, have you seen it?
Yeah, I watched it a while ago.
Nick, did you ever watch this movie?
I don't know. I think maybe.
It had a good theme of racism
Okay.
in it.
Like
Something like that. It had like a
pro-racist.
Man, I don't even remember. What?
It's not a pro-racist movie?
No, not
No,
pro-racist,
definitely not.
but like themes of racism and how it's bad there.
Oh, gotcha.
Mhm.
Now I saw like where I used to work, they would have movies playing on repeat, and this was one of the movies that played on repeat, and so I just never cared to watch it because it was on all the time. It's part of the reason I brought in a bunch of shitty movies to watch and make if you're gonna Utopia 100 times, and you're gonna have to watch Troll 2. So there it is.
Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth. Yep. Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, the whole thing.
Fucking Marty knew about Battlefield Earth, right?
Duck. Marty bought me Battlefield Earth. Number 6, the sixth highest grossing movie for the year 2016 was the movie Deadpool.
That was good.
I liked it. It was the least superhero-esque type movie. I mean, it had some familiar tropes, but Ryan Reynolds is basically Deadpool, and it was it was funny. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't watch it twice. It was one of those, that was good. I feel no need to watch that again. And in fact, I never watched the sequel. I'm kind of sort of interested only because it's got Hugh Jackman in him, but for the third movie, Deadpool, but we'll see. You guys liked it? Brad, you watched it?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked all the it's very, very funny, a lot of fourth wall breaking. He's like a superhero who's aware that he is a superhero in like a comic book or a movie, basically.
Oh yeah. Nick, did you ever watch it?
So it was pretty cool.
No, I never watched it. I see they're coming out with like a new Deadpool thing.
Yeah, Deadpool 3 or Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, the fifth highest grossing movie of the year 2016, the movie The Jungle Book. I think that was a live action.
Jungle Book?
The 9th live action Jungle Book. There was like 2 of them in the 90s, like Jungle Book, Mowgli's Story or whatever, and Mowgli's Story or whatever his name is. But yeah, this is another live action Jungle Book off the animated film, like they've been doing Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid.
All of them, basically.
Yeah, they just did the Jungle Book, and it's the same thing. So
they're out of ideas.
Yep, I've been out for at least 20 years.
Disney sucks.
Yep. All right, number 4, the fourth highest grossing movie of the year 2016, the movie The Secret Life of Pets. Illumination film. Never watched it.
It's still a secret to me.
Yep. Never watched it. I think the one with Louis C.K. in it. And they had a sequel, but he had that stuff come out about him jacking off in front of women. So they took him out.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right. Nick, you never see that movie? I never saw it.
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Number 3, the third highest grossing movie of the year 2016. Where's Aaron when you need him? The movie Captain America: Civil War. Nick, you ever watch this one?
No.
Brad, you ever watch this one?
Nope.
I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times. It's pretty good.
Good for you.
This one. I like this. One of the better Marvel movies that they had. Civil War was really neat.
So was he on the Confederate or the Union side?
Captain America would be on the Confederacy. And
really?
Yeah, Iron Man would have been the Union.
So did they go? Did they both go back in time to the Civil War? Is that how this movie plays out?
They did blackface too, which is really
cool. I'm sorry, but how could Captain America be a traitor?
Well, so the story, you'll see why I said this, but the story of Civil War is after the events of Age of Ultron. If you remember, you probably don't. It's been about 2 months.
Oh, of course.
I was when it came
Transformers?
Well, when the movie
wasn't Ultron a Transformer?
Sounds like a Transformer.
The fucking Decepticon,
yeah.
The Defecticon, because they, anyway, they
nice.
Age of Ultron, what Ultron's plan was, it failed per se, but there was so much death essentially from that outcome that the question started to be raised: how much are people paying for there being superheroes around? who watches the Watchers essentially, like how many people died here, and what, they just go on living like it's no big deal, like they're without boundaries. What can we do as a society to curb these superheroes? They need to be held accountable. And Captain America was like, no, we don't. Once you go down that road, it leads to, we're not free to make our own choices. We become like, basically slaves to, or not. I mean, I guess I should use a better word considering he's the Confederacy. He didn't want to be a slave to like the government in a sense, but Iron Man decided that it was like, because they had a mom come up to him holding a picture of her child that died because they couldn't save him, even though they're supposed to be there, or there was a mistake that happened, and like a building got blown up, and one of her children was in that building, and so it rattles Tony Stark, and he's like, look, we have to be held accountable. We can't just go around blowing up buildings and causing all this chaos and just leaving. Yeah, we saved the day, but people still have to build up their lives. This is a good thing. We need to sign this document, and we need to all be on the same page here. We just want everything to be on the up and up. And Captain America said no, and they fought. And then certain superheroes sided with Captain America, certain superheroes sided with Iron Man, and it became a civil war in that regard. And that's the reason why they're all separated when Endgame starts and Thanos shows up, because there's so many. They're all on their own separate ways. And Iron Man finds out that Captain America, Rogers, what the fuck his name is, he knew that his friend Bucky, the guy with the metal arm, the guy with the robotic arm, murdered Iron Man's parents, and he knew about it and didn't tell him. And basically, that was the end. Yeah, that was the ace up the guy's sleeve.
Is this your Civil War filibuster?
Sorry, as I kept telling it, I remembered more and more things.
Just like, here's the movie, basically.
We don't need Aaron at all.
Yeah, we definitely.
Well, yeah. After that one, yeah, it's probably best that it isn't, because then this would even go on even longer. But anyway, we can end that here, because number 2, the second highest grossing movie of the year 2016, number 2 was Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Brad and I talked about this yesterday while we went to go see Dune 2, which was excellent.
Highly recommend Dune Part 2.
See Rogue One, a Star Wars story? Did you watch it? Ever seen it?
Yeah, I saw it.
I know you saw it because I saw it with you.
I've never seen it.
Okay, yeah, but we were in theaters.
I know about it though. I know what the story is, and I know how it ends.
Gotcha. I won't do it again.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just I think it's I need to watch it because I think I'd like it.
Yeah, it's man, I saw it because Brad was working midnights at the time, and I wasn't, and I would sleep till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But Brad was like, "We can see a movie, but we'll see Rogue One, but we got to go at like 9 a.m. because I got to go to bed." And
you fell asleep. Someone fell asleep.
I think I fell asleep like twice because it's like an hour and 45 minutes of dialogue, and then the last 45 minutes of the movie is action packed. So I was awake for the last 45, but the first, man, it was a struggle. But I really liked it. I thought it was one of the better ones, maybe the best Disney. After Disney had taken over, maybe the best one they did. Brad, what did you think of Rogue One?
It was good. It was fine. My major gripe was, instead of casting someone that kind of looked like Peter Cushing to play Grand Moff Tarkin, they just made like a like a CGI Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yep.
And it was weird looking.
Yeah. Yes,
like this computer guy walking around talking. They did the same thing for Princess Leia. She was a CGI version of her.
Yep.
And I remember telling this to some people, and they're like, "What? What are you talking about? I didn't notice that." I'm like, how could you not notice? They're like cartoon characters.
Yes, it was very awkward. Very awkward.
I don't think they ever did that again.
No, they did a couple.
Because for like Solo, they cast a totally different guy to play Han Solo.
Just good. Could you imagine old Harrison Ford?
I'm as young as I ever was.
I actually didn't. I didn't mind Solo. Solo was pretty good.
I never saw that.
I saw it once, and I didn't hate it, but I never bothered to watch it again. All right,
Same.
and the number one highest grossing movie of the year 2016, number one, was the movie Finding Dory, the sequel to Finding Nemo.
Mm.
Never
Mhm.
seen it, wanted to see it. Nick, I assume the same for you?
I believe I have seen it,
Oh,
and it was just as good or better than the other movie.
interesting.
Yeah,
Do you remember anything about it?
it was pretty much the same story rehashed, if I'm remembering correctly. But
Yeah,
it actually, I don't know, it retold the story in a new light in a different way, and it had good, you know, it was good.
All right, Brad, did you ever watch it?
yeah, I believe so. Yeah, because it's like Dory as a little, I was gonna say little girl, but a little fish girl, because she has that short term memory loss thing.
Hmm.
She gets lost at the beginning. She ends up in like a Sea World type place, right?
I believe so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
And
right.
there's an octopus and all sorts of different
Yeah, and they try to, yeah.
sea creatures, and they're all in like a truck at the end in tanks, and they
Yep.
take over the truck, or the truck crashes into the ocean. I don't even
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't remember.
yeah. Yeah. That's exactly
so
right.
yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will move on now to my personal film selections of 2016. And there aren't a lot. If you guys find any that you like or want to talk about, number one, not number one. You know what? I'll go down from, okay, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I chose that one. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Good movie. I like John Goodman. Um, yeah, good one.
Yeah.
I did not like the ending.
Right.
Yeah.
But up until then,
Oh yeah, up until then, it's like, yeah, is he just crazy, or is there really something going on? And
yep.
John Goodman's actually kind of terrifying.
Who's the real monster?
Mm-hmm.
Nick, did you ever watch that? 10
I
Cloverfield?
did. Yeah, I watched it once. Um, yeah, it was pretty good. John Goodman just pretty much made the movie, but yeah, the ending definitely sucked.
All right. Another personal film selection I'm going to mention here for 2016, the movie Batman: The Killing Joke. This is one of the more, maybe the most popular Batman graphic novel of all time. This one is about the Joker. He takes Commissioner Gordon hostage. He gets him, and he breaks into Barbara Gordon, his daughter's apartment. Now, Barbara Gordon at this time is Batgirl and is going around with Bruce, and Batman and all that. And is like a sidekick. And there's kind of like a mutual thing there going on, but, Batman's Batman. Like, he's an older guy. He's trying to hold off from, going down that road anyway. So there's like this conflict between the two, some sort of like sexual conflict, I guess you could say. And while he's dealing with that, Batman, or Joker breaks into an apartment, ends up shooting Barbara Gordon in the spine and paralyzes her, severs her spine. This is canon, so like she's permanently, like, that's it. She's becomes the Oracle later and kind of helps out Batman in a wheelchair. She's done. So out of all the comic book stuff where someone dies and comes back to life, now that's it. This was it for her character. She got shot in the spine, and so Joker paralyzes her, takes Commissioner Gordon hostage, and just tortures him with all sorts of crazy shit for like days on end while Batman tries to find him. And not to go into too much detail, I don't want to do another Civil War, but at the end of the comic, the Joker tells Batman a joke, and Batman laughs. In the last scene of the comic book and last scene of the movie, you see Batman's hands reach up towards Joker's neck, and you're not sure what happens because all of a sudden there's just silence. So you're wondering, does he kill him? Does he not kill him? and that was like left to the viewer to think. So yeah, that was I thought it was really good. Well done. The first half an hour of that is a completely side story that has nothing to do with the actual graphic. It's not in the graphic novel. It's not anything. They just had to extend it for time because otherwise it would have been a like an after school special, like a 35, 40-minute show. So anyway, another personal film selection of mine. I'm going to choose the movie The Witch.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Go ahead if you highlights from The Witch. Whoever wants to go ahead first.
Black Phillip.
Yeah, definitely.
And those the two creepy little kids like singing a song about him, and oh, and then at the end with Anya Taylor-Joy, you don't see who she's talking to, and he's just, what does he say? Wouldst thou like to live deliciously, or something like that?
Yeah, well, see, that's what I liked about the movie the most was the script, like the lines, like how it was written, and those.
I had to watch it with subtitles.
Yeah, me too. And that old timey like English, it's really good. And it brings you in. It's very immersive, and
yes,
wow, is
very
it
much so.
Very, very, very creepy. Awesome movie. I love the ending. I mean, it's just good from beginning to the end, but definitely worth watching.
Is that an A24 film?
Yeah, A24. Yep.
Yep.
And the director also did The Lighthouse, which is much the same as The Witch.
Is it like the original White Lighthouse or the new one?
Huh? Oh,
so I think there's two of them, right?
There's two. The Lighthouse from 2019.
Oh, with Robert Pattinson.
Yep, Robert Pattinson, Willem Dafoe. Same director as The Witch.
Really good.
Yeah, yep. Robert
Awesome.
Eggers is the director.
Makes sense.
And he also did what?
They had similar dialogue like that, and
yeah, it was like old like piratey,
yeah,
like New England dialogue. Yeah,
dude, that movie's awesome.
Oh, dude, I love that movie.
Yeah,
that and The Witch are both excellent.
Oh yeah,
and then he did the Northman in 2022, which was good, but not the same.
I watched.
Oh, sorry. So The Witch. For me, I remember the witch herself, or whatever the hell, that old crazy lady out in that shack, getting a hold of a little baby, and the next thing you see is this bloody stump, as she's like mashed the baby into like.
Oh yeah.
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah, she like blended up the baby basically. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck? And yes, I also had to watch it with subtitles on because I had no idea what the fuck they were saying, and it was just it was off-putting, it was terrifying, and it really stays with you after it's over. So yeah, excellent movie. I highly recommend watching The Witch. Another personal film selection of mine, we've got Manchester by the Sea. I can't recommend this movie enough.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Oh my god.
Really?
So Nick, you wanna?
I mean, there's a lot to say about this movie. The story is awesome. The acting is just phenomenal. Cinematography is really great in this movie too. If there is a movie that it's probably one of the best dramas I've ever seen. And it's crazy because it's the Affleck guy. I can't think of Casey Affleck, who I've seen. He was good in a few movies, but not in a lot. Like I never really cared for him. But Manchester by the Sea was different. He really pulled through. He was great in that. It was amazing. What to talk about, man? The main thing that a lot of people remember from the movie is like the big it's a big spoiler, but if I actually talked about it, but it's the scene where he is talking in the interrogation room and telling him the story of what happened.
Yep.
And it's looking back on his character. Yeah.
It is as good as Quint's speech in Jaws. That speech on that boat with that eerie music, and Steven Spielberg, just has
right. Or I'd say it's just as good as, say, the opening to Sling Blade.
Oh, that
speech that he, you know what I mean? What's up?
Back on a certain event, like Quint and Jaws.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
he's also thinking back on a certain event, and it is
Right.
that whole thing. And so it is, as on that sense, it carries the exact same emotional punch as the Quint Jaws, where it's just like
Right.
your whole view of him changes. So yeah,
Sure.
that's what I was saying.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I've suggested this movie to people as well, and
Oh yeah,
I'd recommend it for you, Brad. If you
highly
haven't
recommend
seen it.
you to watch
I
it.
will check it out, definitely.
Manchester by the Sea.
I will add it to my list of movies to watch.
And my last, by the way, my last, or I should say, our last, or one of our last things we suggested for you, Better Call Saul. You watched that, right? Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I binged that whole series.
Oh
Very,
man,
very quickly. It was fucking fantastic.
it's amazing.
All right. Now, my last personal film selection of 2016 is the movie Arrival.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Excellent, excellent shit.
Love that movie. Oh
ahead.
well, it's a really great take on that whole genre, where it's just like how every genre is like, oh, the aliens are coming to attack, but it's this one, it's they're here to communicate. But the whole, like, again, there's spoilers when you go talk about it, but like the ending and what it all really is, and it's just awesome, man. It's mind blowing. It's mind bending. It's really great take on the genre. The I really like the cinematography in the movie too, so definitely worth watching.
Yeah. That's Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Who did, Blade Runner 2049 and Dune Part 1 and Dune Part 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. Like I took a girl that I know, and yeah, well, we were crying at points. Really right off the bat, when her daughter dies.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's all spoilers here.
Sure, yeah.
So.
This is not a spoiler.
But then you realize that was later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The whole time thing is very interesting. I actually listened to the short story that it was based off of. It's really neat stuff, like because like with their language, you can like experience your whole life all at once, basically, which is really hard to wrap your mind around.
For sure.
So it's like basically if you could like see into the future and saw, oh, you die by getting hit by a bus. It's like, well, that's how you're gonna die, because you saw it. Like that's what happens. There's no way around it, basically, because that is your life. Like you can't change anything.
Yeah.
It's like a whole like fate and free will sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, really, really good.
All right. I saw that movie. I really liked it. I started watching it again a few times. I haven't actually got through it again, I don't think, but I saw bits and pieces of it. But I always really liked it. Really liked it. I liked it better than Contact, which we talked about in the 90s.
Oh yeah, it was kind of the same thing in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Well, that will do it for my personal film selections. That's all I had for 2016. Not a bad collection, but that's it. Now we can move on to the worst movies of 2016, the worst movies. And we're going to start off with, I don't know, let's say Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh, no.
I knew it. Oh, man.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, it sucks. Absolutely sucked.
Why? Just why? No one asked for it.
Who's been like frozen, or he can still communicate with aliens. I never really watched it. They couldn't even get Will Smith to do it, and he did After Earth. I don't think he could afford 2 flops in a row.
After Earth.
Oh, no. His character died. Remember? His son said that his father died in some sort of like test flight thing.
Right.
Yeah.
They tried to get him to come back, and he refused, so they just wrote him off.
They got Jeff Goldblum, though.
Yeah.
He gladly came back. Just to play himself.
Just to play himself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Another worst movie of 2016. Like I can't say I've seen bits and pieces of Independence Day Resurgence, and I hated what I saw, and I never watched.
I watched the whole thing.
So, Nick, you never saw it, right?
No, could not watch that.
It's not even a bad movie that's fun to watch. You know,
Right.
it's just bad. It's a bad movie.
Yeah.
All right, another worst movie of 2016, the movie Ghostbusters. Nope, the reimagining Ghostbusters with all the SNL women. And
Oh God.
yep, Ghostbusters.
No.
Hey, and there's another new one coming out,
That there is relatively
but
soon.
with Paul Rudd for some
Paul Rudd.
reason. I don't know. They like switched it up.
Yeah.
Yep, Ghostbusters. Yeah, I never had any desire to see it. It had nothing to do. It really didn't have anything to do with the fact that it was women. It was the way it was written. It looked horrible. It just looked stupid. It didn't look like the first movie was. It kind of had some freaky-esque moments, but the comedy between the people was much better written. And this just feels like some new age comedy type thing, almost like it's like Bridesmaids with proton packs. You know,
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, who gives a shit? All right, another terrible movie for 2016. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows, the Michael Bay version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Terrible, 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 terrible. I hated this movie. I hated it. Terrible. I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan. So anything they kind of come up with, again, I'll usually check out or look into. And God, I hated this movie so much, and I knew I wasn't gonna like it, and I really tried, and it just didn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Did you ever watch
tried?
Did you watch the most recent one? It's like a
No,
cartoonish.
it's got it was written by Seth Rogen and someone else, so
Uh-huh.
it's got like some people that I'm like, okay, it could be good. Like I liked other stuff that Seth Rogen has written and directed.
Yeah, I heard that new one was pretty good, and
Yeah.
the animation style is akin to like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I like those movies, so I thought that was good. So yeah, well, it's one of those movies I actually would check out. So, but Out of the Shadows is garbage. It's one of the worst movies of 2016. Speaking of one of the worst movies of 2016, we've got Tyler Perry's Boo, a Medea Halloween.
Oh
no.
God.
It never ends.
It's every year we've got at least 1 to 2. That's why I hate these movies. One of the main reasons, if not the main reason, is there's just so many of them. Even Ernest didn't go this hard. Fuck you, Tyler Perry. All right, another terrible
Yeah.
movie of 2016. I want Nick to speak on this one because he was particularly upset after he saw it. The movie Warcraft.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, okay, here's the thing. I saw this movie in theaters, right? And I thought the to see what I loved on screen was pretty cool, right? But the acting, as well as you can do in acting, like basically it's like voice acting, and the writing was just it was bad, man. It was really bad. And the story they were trying to portray, it was they were trying to be as accurate and as true as possible, and it just didn't come off that genuine. And it was enough though for me to slightly enjoy it when I first saw it. However, I tried to watch it again years later while I was tripping out on LSD, and I realized that the movie is a giant piece of shit. And I just turned it off, and I just I couldn't believe it. They butchered it. And I have been begging for something better ever since. So yeah.
Yeah, that kind of clarity is only achieved with LSD.
Oh man.
That's why you take those drugs, just so
Yep.
you think clearly. All right. I saw it once. I was like, yeah, it was visually okay, I guess. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about it. Is that an actual story from World of Warcraft? I have no emotional attachment to anything that they're telling me, so I don't care.
Yeah,
really.
no, it's based on actual like lore. And they're just retelling you of that time period and these characters.
Had I played World of Warcraft and actually, had I paid attention to the story and maybe started from, I'm not sure if this is from the original game or if this was an expansion story or
Mhm.
whatnot, So I came in on Lich King, so anything that happened beforehand, no idea. All right. Got 4 left here. 4 terrible movies to mention here. For 2016, another terrible movie, the movie Zoolander 2. Another movie a sequel that, people are like, oh my God, they should make a sequel to Zoolander. One of these movies. It's just, no, they shouldn't. They should leave it alone. You don't need a sequel to these movies. They're good. Part of it is nostalgia. Part of it, they're actually
Right.
not as funny as you remember them being. If you saw it now, you wouldn't think it was as good as it is, or as you think it is. So, Zoolander 2, completely unnecessary, completely underwhelming, and not a good movie. Not funny. Dumb and Dumber 2, same thing. All that shit. It's not.
I didn't even realize there was a Zoolander 2.
Yep, and it's probably they probably don't want you to know. No one's telling you. Hey,
Yeah.
you didn't two? Yeah, no. All right. 3 more now. I've got the movie Why Him with Bryan Cranston and what's his name? James Franco, where James Franco's dating this guy, his daughter, and the dad can't stand the boyfriend, and it's
Of
why him,
course.
and that's the whole movie.
Incredible stuff.
Yep.
Wow, I've never heard of a plot like that before.
Yeah.
That's fresh, certified.
Wow.
All right, 2 more left here. I've got the Brothers Grimsby, what's his name? Borat fella, Bruno, Sacha Baron Cohen. Basically,
Okay.
plays himself. Like he plays like a character and then plays a twin of that character. And there's one scene that stuck out to me in this movie only because they showed it on. Well, the thing is, they didn't actually show it on Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel, one of the two Jimmys, Jimmy Kimmel, and they just showed the crowd's reaction to what they were seeing. And the clip of the movie that they were showing was when they hid up, the brothers Grimsby hid up like an elephant's vagina or something like that, and then another elephant got a hard on and decided to have sex with the elephant that they were
Of
hiding.
course.
And so they've got a giant elephant cock like hitting him in the face, and then of course he finishes his business, and then they're dealing with ejaculate and
Oh my God.
yeah, and all you had to see was the crowd's reaction to all that.
Oh my
I
God.
have no words for
That
that.
is- Oh my God, dude.
As Ace Ventura: Pet Detective 2.
What
when
oh my God.
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Another is just way too far. Like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, it's just So, and the last movie I'm going to mention for one of the worst movies, maybe the worst movie of 2016, the movie God's Not Dead 2.
Oh no.
This one, you remember that old like after school special where that guy's like, "Hey man, jeez," and he gives the thumbs up.
Yeah.
I've seen that clip, yeah.
That kid, he grew up to be a Christian actor, and he was in God's Not Dead. He's in God's Not Dead 2. I think in the second one, he's like an action star. Like he's fighting off terrorists or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's the first one was terrible. There's no way the second one's good. So I'm throwing my hat in with it being one of the worst movies of 2016.
So I'm assuming the terrorists he's fighting off are atheists, right?
That or Muslim.
They're atheist
Okay.
terrorists.
So-
Yeah, or Muslims. Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is the synopsis, right? This is kind of like the summary of it. High school history teacher Grace Wesley comes under fire for answering a student's question about Jesus. And she refuses to apologize. The school board votes to suspend her. She suspend her and revoke her teaching certificate. And then she's got to stand trial to save her career.
What?
Wait, what did she say about Jesus?
It just says answering a student's question about Jesus. They hate it so much that
Okay.
now what's up? Apparently.
So knowing this movie, she probably said something positive about Jesus, and it's like, oh no, the world is against her or whatever.
Well, it says here that the lawyer that she hires for the trial that she has to do to save her career, the lawyer devises a powerful strategy to show the jury the historical significance of the classroom discussion.
Okay.
10% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, terrible.
Yep. Absolutely.
Holy shit! We need to
That
watch
just all
that.
sounds.
We need to
That
watch
just
that.
sounds blown way out of proportion.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like no teacher would go to trial
Right.
for having a discussion about Jesus.
Exactly.
America.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. All right. We could watch that one. There's another one movie called if you have HBO Max, it's called Collision Course. I wanted to watch it. It's with Pat Morita from The Karate Kid and fucking Jay Leno. So yeah.
What?
Yep. It's on HBO.
Oh no.
Of course. I want to see that crash and burn. All right. That will do it for our movie section of the podcast. And we will now jump into our music section with the music of 2016.
Man, it's the music of the 2010s. I'm gonna listen till I can't no more.
And for albums that went number 1 in 2016, we have Adele's 25 again. We got the album Views by Drake. Yep. Never listened to any.
Okay.
We've got Lemonade, Beyonce's album Lemonade. We've got
refreshing.
J. Cole, For Your Eyes with a Z only. J. Cole for the number Your Eyes with a Z only. We've got The Weeknd, Starboy as a number album that went number 1 in 2016, and we've got Metallica, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, an album that went number 1 in 2016.
Meh.
Nothing to say about those albums. Maybe Brad has something to say about Metallica, but I don't. I never listened to it.
Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Hold on, I need to look up their Was this their big comeback after Saint Anger? It couldn't have been, right?
No, there was Death Magnetic.
There's no comeback after Saint Anger.
Oh, right.
This was after that.
You know what? You're right, Nick. Yeah, they had Death Magnetic, Hardwired to Self-Destruct, and then 72 seasons, and all 3 of those albums, listened to them, completely forgot about them.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's Metallica trying to be. It's like Metallica. Okay, it's like another band pretending to be old Metallica, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to do
It's a
the
cover
old
band.
thrashy stuff. Yeah, they sound like a Metallica cover band.
It's a rusty cover band.
Yep, exactly.
Well, I'll move on to my personal album picks for 2016. By the way, the 70s are going to be the exact opposite of what we're seeing here. Although I still might do worse lyrics. I'm sure we could find something. But my personal album picks for 2016, I've got Radiohead's A Moon-Shaped Pool.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yep, I really liked it.
Oh, I don't think I know that one.
I think that's the last
It is their most recent album.
So,
Okay.
I recommend it. The album Blackstar by David Bowie, we talked about that.
Yeah, of course.
Yep, that was another personal album pick of 2016. Run the Jewels 3, another album. I like that rap group.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
Mushuggah, The Violent Sleep of Reason. Mushuggah.
I'm pretty sure I was into it when it came out, but I've completely forgotten about it because it's just the same.
Yeah.
No melody, just brutal like polyrhythms and insane time signatures, and it's still good, but
Yeah. And the last personal album pick for 2016, Devin Townsend Project, Transcendence. Yeah.
There you
My
go.
worst album.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that one.
That's all right. My worst albums of 2016, I've got Fits in the Tantrums debut album. It's corny pop music made in someone's living room. It's like 3 brothers, and they just put some random ass beat.
Yeah, what was?
Did some auto tunes, and that was it. That's all you needed.
What was the song from that? Like Money Grabber or something like that?
God, I wrote all this like over a month.
Oh, okay. I remember that song on the radio, and it's they're trying to sound like something from like the 50s or 60s or 70s, like with horns and.
Gotcha.
It was catchy, but
yeah,
derivative.
Speaking of derivative, then another worst album of 2016, Simple Plan, Taking One for the Team.
What? They're still around?
Yeah? Still around. Well, maybe not anymore, but
Right.
They took taking one for the team by releasing one more album. Another terrible album of 2016. We've got Bon Jovi's "This House Is Not for Sale." Sorry, Linda. This house
Ugh.
is for sale by Bon Jovi. The album is though, so you can buy that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
probably on a discount somewhere. Probably in a
So-
$5 bin.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's 100 copies of it in some bin in Walmart. Right
Honestly,
now.
at this point, whatever house it was that wasn't for sale, most likely is in order to survive.
No,
at this
it was
point.
condemned.
It was. There's a bunch of squatters.
Yep. It's a crack house now.
Another worst album of 2016, Gwen Stefani's "This Is What the Truth Feels Like." I'd rather feel lies.
Yeah.
Worst album of 2016, Barry Gibb's "In the Now." Barry Gibb "In the Now."
Really?
One of the Gibbs. The last
You said you
remaining.
put that as worst? You put that as worst?
One of the worst. Bad
Who the
ratings
fuck is
all around.
Barry Gibbs or whatever?
You don't know Barry Gibb, dude?
No.
It was a Bee Gee, one of the Gibb brothers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of the Bee Gees.
Oh.
Barry Gibb, yeah, there he is. Yeah,
Barry
okay.
Gibb "In the Now," low-rated album, just not very good, I guess.
Yeah, he's still making music though, which is interesting. So
And the last worst album of 2016, I've got Good Charlotte Youth Authority, which they're no longer. So they're like senior citizens now. They've got to be pushing 45 years old, Good Charlotte, at this point. So
And probably still singing about
Good Charlotte.
I don't know whatever they sang about when they were.
Lifestyles, the rich and the famous.
Yep.
hanging
The
out
anthem.
through. Yeah, who the fuck knows? All right, we're gonna get to our top songs of 2016. 2016 top songs. Justin Bieber's "Love Yourself."
Uh-huh.
I think that's one where it's like you can go and love yourself. And I
Yeah.
thought it was like him like editing it out, but I thought it was like, it's just him
Uh-huh.
subbing fuck for love. So you can go fuck yourself is what he means to say, but he says you can go love yourself.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
Man, truly a poet.
Deep shit there. Maple Leafs fan, that's what you can expect.
I thought that he meant it in more of a deeper way. Like he actually was like, you should just go do that. Like you should. I thought maybe he meant it that way.
Leafs fans.
Oh. No, I know what you mean.
It's
But yeah,
deeper.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go love yourself.
Yeah, it's in more
before
of a,
you could love someone else.
It's more of a letting go sort of thing. Yeah.
So it wasn't about
Exactly.
fuck yourself.
That's what I always thought the song was.
No worries. All right, another top song of 2016. Drake featuring Kid and Kyla, "One Dance." I have no idea. No idea. I think that's a Billy Gilman song. Another top
Dude,
song.
Billy Gilman's fucking badass, man. Badass.
Oh wait, one place. That's right.
Who the fuck is Billy? What?
Billy Gilman was like a little 12-year-old country singer who was like popular. For a second. He had one little song, and I think
One voice.
What? I missed this.
No,
Oh man.
He made one of the worst songs whenever it came out. It was like late 90s. Maybe 1999. Exactly. Anyway, another top song of 2016. Rihanna featuring Drake, "Work." There's a lot of Caribbean
I
drum
don't remember that song.
here. That was the cool pop thing to do now. It was the popular thing and get you lots of views and clicks and all that crap. Is this Caribbean drums and almost like you're from Jamaica and Rihanna is from Jamaica, so it makes sense
Right.
to do.
I remember that song being very annoying.
It's not cultural appropriation or anything.
Okay, she's doing it. It's like bark, 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 blah blah blah, bark, 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 bark.
Yeah, that's it.
Ugh.
That's the stuff.
It's fucking stupid. All right, another top song of 2016. We've got 21 Pilots, "Stressed Out."
Dude, I hate this song so much.
Oh wait, yeah. If I could turn back time
Good lord.
to the good old days.
That's over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that song, man.
They still play that on Q101 for some reason.
Yep.
Dude, at that time it was, oh god, that time I remember like being in the bars and people were like singing this. I'm thinking the good old days. What was it like 6 years ago for all these people?
Yeah.
Is that what they're singing about?
Yep.
Like what do you mean good old days?
Lost
Like
childhood.
it's now,
Right?
Like that's what I was thinking. Like what the fuck?
You're too young to have old days.
Right, yeah, that's what I was like
Oh
at that
yeah,
time
fair
I
enough.
was too, so I was just confused. Like why are these people singing about this? It's just weird.
Like now we're all at the age where we could sing about the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd never heard of 21 Pilots. I'd never heard of any of their songs.
Ugh.
I remember hanging out with a group of friends and I was hanging out with a friend or two, and there were other people there that were invited, and one of the other people that were invited suggested that song "Stressed Out" by 21 Pilots, and I was like, "What the hell's 21 Pilots? What is all that?" And then the song starts playing, and I was like, "Yep, that's enough for me." And I wasn't really keen on getting to know anybody at that point. I was just kind of like,
Right.
All
Fuck out of here.
can't do anything. We're driving 60 miles an hour on the highway,
Yeah.
so
Right. Oh well, yeah. Jump out of the car.
stressed out. All right, the top song of 2016. This is a good one. Adele's "Hello." That's a good one.
I think the Bev and Bob version was the best.
That or the Coheed and Cambria guys saw a cover that wasn't bad either. I remember him doing the cover of that song.
Bev and Bob, the two like hillbillies that do the karaoke on YouTube.
They're from Indiana, first of all.
No shit! Wow.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Local legends.
Yeah. Yeah, we looked it up, didn't we? I remember looking it up, and we found out they were from Indiana.
Dude,
Anyway,
I'm gonna check out some of their shit after.
Anyway,
this
I didn't
podcast.
know Claudio Sanchez did a cover of it.
Yep, he covered "Hello."
I'd have to check that out.
Yeah, I bet it's really good actually.
Yeah, it probably is.
One of the most annoying songs of all time. Another top song of 2016. Justin Timberlake's "Can't Stop the Feeling" for that Trolls movie.
Oh
And
yeah.
Hear it with a kid. Had to hear that song a billion times.
Not familiar, and I'm glad.
Dance, 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 dance. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell, thankfully.
My God, you're lucky.
Anyway, another top song of 2016, Flo Rida, "My House." I don't know, never heard that song before in my life. Top song of 2016, Shawn Mendes, "Treat You Better." Kind of remember that, but again, it played on like the TVs.
I know the song.
Radio and Target when I worked there.
How does it go?
Yeah. Something like that.
It doesn't. All right, another top song.
Yeah, whatever.
Charlie Puth's "One Call Away." I'm just one.
Oh God. Call away. Superman got nothing on me.
No, me. Fuck off, Charlie.
Stupid.
Another top song of
Nope.
2016.
Not ringing a bell again, thankfully.
Again, featuring Daft Punk, "Starboy."
Uh,
Yeah. The Weeknd featuring Daft Punk, "Starboy." Another top song of 2016. I don't know. I've never heard that song. Another top song of 2016, the Chainsmokers featuring Daya, "Don't Let Me Down." Not a cover of the Beatles song. Just another song with that same sort of title. So yeah, Chainsmokers featuring Daya. Doesn't matter. Doesn't work anymore. So another top song of 2016, Sia featuring Sean Paul, "Cheap Thrills." Pretty sure that's that Jamaican fella. Again, he's making a comeback. He's like,
Oh yeah, the life is one big body when you're still young.
Yeah, well that's Shaggy.
Oh, that's Shaggy. Oh.
Sean Paul was like, oh God, I can't think of it. It's like mid 2000s. It's oh fuck, check that.
I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Shit
okay, yeah,
doesn't be no laga. Shit doesn't be. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's back. Anyway, DNCE's "Cake by the Ocean," another top song of 2016.
What by the ocean?
Cake by the ocean.
Cake by the ocean.
Cake by the ocean.
Yeah.
By the ocean.
The
Like
first
you're
time
eating a cake by the ocean?
By the ocean. All right.
the first time I heard this song
You know
was
it.
when I worked at Target, and it was like my first week there, and this guy named Adam who worked in the market just came up to me and was showing me a video that I didn't want to see. That time, the time when people try to show you something you just don't care.
All the time.
All the time, yeah. He's trying to show me something. I'm trying to work. He's trying to show me something. It's some sort of League of Legends thing, and it's got that song in the background. And it was a horrifying moment, and I hate that song because of that. And yeah,
Cake by the ocean.
yeah.
The delicacy. All right, got 3 more left here. Ariana Grande's "Into You," another top song of 2016. Never heard it. I don't think I've heard it. I feel like if I heard it, maybe I would. Oh, I remember this, but I can't recall it right now off the top of my head, and I don't want to. So, moving on. 2016, another top song of 2016. Ellie King's "X's and O's."
Annoying.
Oh yeah. I was gonna try and sing it there, but I can't get that high. Nor can I sing, so
something like that, right?
Yeah.
And the last
Annoying.
the last top song of 2016. This is a definite change from everything we've said before. Disturbed, "The Sound of Silence."
Oh God. What?
There were some kids at work listening to that, the sound, like the Disturbed version.
Yeah.
And they're all like into it. I'm like, no, play the original.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what the fuck, man?
and they played the original, and they actually liked it. So,
well,
good for them.
Good on
for
them.
being like, young, like 20-something kids.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, isn't this so much better? It's like the original is like so harrowing sounding. It has an atmosphere to it.
Yeah, man. I do again. Another album I listened to on LSD.
Yeah.
Ooh, some Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, I listened to the greatest hits while tripping out, the whole thing, and that was on there obviously, and it was on vinyl too, and that was a good time.
Oh, dude, that sounds like a great time.
It was a great time, yeah.
All right, believe it or not, we'll now get to the worst songs of 2016. The worst songs of 2016.
All right, so before we get to that, I have a real problem with like no David Bowie in the top songs. Nothing from Blackstar.
Nothing.
Like
what I go off of, it's not my own personal. This is the top songs.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
That's what disturbs me.
Yes, no, that none of it made it. Yeah, absolutely.
None of it. Not one bit of it.
That's the way
I'm
it
sorry.
goes.
That's probably why he left. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
the worst songs of 2016. Speaking of David Bowie, he had something to do with the original version of this song. This is a cover by the band Smash Mouth. The song "Under Pressure," the cover for "Under Pressure" by Smash Mouth.
Oh my God, that sounds horrible. I feel like I've heard this. You may have played this at work at one point.
Showed that to us. Yeah, I played it for you at work because Brad showed it to me in a message. It was like a couple years
That's
after. It had to
right.
be like 2019. But I just remember one day, check this song out.
Yeah.
I don't know how I came across it, but yeah, my fucking hair turned white when I listened to it. I'm just like, just why? There's no reason for them to do that.
No, there's not.
They could have covered a million other songs. It would probably been okay, but why Under Pressure? He can't sing like Freddie Mercury.
No, he can't. He can't hit
or David Bowie.
Nope. He can't.
He just has that same, all-star sounding voice.
I'm surprised it wasn't in the same like melody and everything.
Oh well, all right. Get to next song here. Another worst song of 2016. Sorry, I was getting things ready because we're coming across the worst lyrics song, and I forgot to bring that up.
Oh yes.
One of the worst songs of 2016. Corey Feldman's "Go For It" for the number 4. "Go For It." I remember Corey Feldman had his little singing career there for a second.
I listened to some of this shit not too long ago.
Pretty good, huh?
No, yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it. Oh boy, go for it.
If you're like,
I watched a video of him doing it live, like on some show.
oh
It was
yeah,
the most it was the most cringy fucking
Very
shit
much.
I've ever seen.
I saw that too. Yes. Two more left here. This one is kind of a giveaway for the TV shows that debuted, but whatever. One of the worst songs of 2016, Carly Rae Jepsen's cover of "Everywhere You Look," the Fuller House theme, and
Weird.
one of the worst songs of
What?
DNCE's "Toothbrush." DNCE's "Toothbrush," one of the worst songs of 2016. By the way, if you're listening and you're like, what are these? I don't remember these songs. We have a little snippet of all these worst songs at the end of the podcast that plays. So in case you're wondering what Corey Feldman's "Go For It" sounds like, Spanish Mouse Under Pressure, Carly Rae Jepsen of "Everywhere You Look," and DNCE "Toothbrush." We will have that for you there. What we won't have, because we'll spare you the aneurysm, or we just have the worst song lyrics. This year for 2016, I have chosen the song "MILF Money" by the artist Fergie.
Oh no, not Fergie.
Yes. Oh God, yes. Here we
Yes.
go.
Yep. And if you guys are ready,
Yeah.
we will get that started.
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right. And the first line of "MILF Money," the song by the artist Fergie, is, "You got that, you got that, you got that milk money. I got that, I got that, I got that MILF money." You see what you did there? You see what you did?
I kind of
that.
do.
Fucking brilliant.
I mean, I kind of need a review already.
Well, let me say it again.
Milk money to MILF money.
Oh, that's what it
Wow.
was. That's what it was.
Wow.
Oh, I see.
Here's the thing. I'm going to repeat this so much you'll probably get it by the end. You
Okay.
got that. You got that milk money. I got that. I got that. I got that MILF money. 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 Heard you in the mood for a little milkshake? Welcome to the Dairy Duchess Love Factory. I could whip it up, fix you up straight away. Come on in the front door, leaving at the back door. Whip it, flip it, hey. Been working extra service to give it to ya. Didn't mean to make you nervous, you motherfucker. You got that, you got that, you got that milk money. I got that, I got that, I got that MILF money. I got that MILF money. I got that MILF money. Me and the girls up in the club, hating ass hoes, but I don't give a fuck. Running amok, owning the spot, buying the bar like I bought all these rocks. I've been working all week, now where the hell is my drink? Hair and nails is on fleek, all my girls on fleek. 'Cause INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? Can't see me BROKE. I'm PAID. You heard about me, I'm saying. You got that, you got that, you got that milk money. Yeah, I got that, I got that, I got that milk money. You got that, you got that, you got that milk money. I got that, I got that, I got that MILF. Give me a second while I clear my throat. That's not the lyrics, that's me. All right. I've been whipping this up. I've been tipping this cup. I've been wasting my turn. I've been working so it kind of feels like Dr. Seuss. I've been working.
Right.
Got my spirit turned up and I can't stop now. I've been running so long. I've been vibing so strong. I want it. I need it. I got it for real. I love it. I want it. I'll feed you this meal. Hey mama, I did it. The top of the hill. Hey man, I did it. Don't forget it, motherfucker. I'm ill. Now let me see you milkshake. Let me see you milkshake. I got that MILF money. I got that MILF money. I got that MILF money. Let me see your milkshake. I got that MILF money. I got that MILF money. Shake, shake, shake. I got that MILF money. Been working extra service to give it to you. Didn't mean to make you nervous to give it to you, you motherfucker. And that is the song. That is
Wow.
Money by the artist Fergie. Thoughts?
I like the welcome to the Dairy Duchess Love Factory. Like, I don't know.
That's not
that
bad.
was kind of yeah, that's not bad, I guess.
Oh man.
Like fourth line in because the rest of the 89 after suck. So
All these lyrics like involve people at the club.
yeah, and like just repetitive,
Yeah.
No, you don't say.
All right.
like not just like in terms of song structure, chord structure, melodic structure, any of that. Just even lyrics that repeat the same within the same line, like within the same, I don't know, measure,
Yeah.
like four measures, whatever it is, and they've repeated themselves 42 times. It doesn't, yeah, what the fuck? How does it even work out? So, yeah, it's just so much wrong with it. It sucks. This really sucks. Some of
Yeah.
I have read so far. So yes, MILF Money won't be at the end of the podcast, and I'm sure everyone is grateful. Thank you guys. Thank you. And we will now move on to the next section of the podcast with the TV shows that debuted, or TV shows of, I should say, TV shows of 2016. And the TV shows that debuted in the year 2016. We've got the show. Let me start from the bottom here because, I mean, really the first two that I mentioned are probably going to be the only ones we talk about. So, Preacher, the show Preacher was released, I believe it was FX. Seth Rogen had a hand in it. It was a comic book adaptation. I never watched it. I just wasn't, at that point, I'd gotten kind of sick of comic book anything. So, yeah. Preacher, and I guarantee you guys haven't watched it either, so I'll just move on.
Nope.
American Crime Story was also a show that debuted in 2016. Never watched it. Again, I can just assume you guys haven't as well. The Grand Tour was a show that debuted in 2016. The OA debuted in 2016. Vinyl debuted in 2016. The Ranch, which I believe is with Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
And that jail, prison for sexual assault. Danny Marston, I think. Anyway,
Oh God.
This Is Us also debuted in 2016. The Crown debuted in 2016. This Is Us was a big show for a number of people I know. They loved that show. It was like this dramatic tearjerker of a show, and it was one of those shows that looked exhausting to watch. Like you get into it, and it's just like, your wife has cancer and she's going to die and you have to take care of these children, and then he gets the children gets hit by a car, and one of the children gets made fun of at school for something that they can't control, and it's just like, why am I watching this? I just feel awful. Like everything is like, good Lord, where's the good time? Where's a laugh? Can you throw me a laugh?
Mm-hmm.
This Is Us, as far as I know. That's just a
interesting
sad story.
Well, I watched The Crown. I watched at least like a little bit over half of the first season. It wasn't bad. It just I don't remember why I stopped watching it. May have just gotten boring or something.
I felt the same way. I think I watched the first season too.
Right.
I watched the OA.
How'd you like
the 2 seasons it had? It was weird, but it was good. It's like a weird science fiction Netflix show.
Right on.
That's all I can really say about it. It's good though.
Good. All right. Another show that debuted in 2016, DC's Legends of Tomorrow. We'll move on. Another show that debuted in 2016, Luke Cage. We'll move on. Another TV show that debuted in 2016, the show Westworld debuted in 2016.
Oh yeah.
I never watched the show. Brad did.
Oh really?
First season.
I watched the movie, like the movie. I think
oh yeah, that the show's based off of.
Yeah.
From like the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It was Yul Brenner.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it a lot. So I just need to watch the show. I heard it was good too. So
I watched the first 2 seasons and they were good. And then I never watched any more, and I heard it got real shitty after the first 2 seasons.
Maybe you felt something coming on, and you're like, nah, this seems like a good place to stop.
Yeah, actually, that is what I felt.
All right. Well, now I will. No, the top show to debut in 2016. I would say the top show, the show that, out of all of these shows, has exceeded expectations when it debuted and is one of the biggest shows on any streaming platform ever. One more season left, which has been delayed because of a writer's strike and whatnot, but everybody waits. I think it's going to be released this year, which I think everyone will be looking forward to. If not, maybe next year, but I think it'll be this year. The show Stranger Things debuted in 2016.
Oh, yeah.
I have stuff to say, but you guys go on ahead. Stranger Things. If whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
Shit, I don't really have much to say. There's so much to it, really. How many seasons are there so far? 4?
4.
I love the theme song in the title card. Just really sets that like 80s mood.
Yeah.
God, there's so much to that show. I haven't watched it since it initially came out. You know, I would watch the seasons as they came out and then never watched them again. So it's been a while since I watched it, but I've really, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's very nostalgic. I really like it. It's one of those shows where it's like you yearn for a time that at least I never existed in. But I love how it's supposed to be a town in Indiana. You know,
yep.
That was cool. There's a lot of great gags and things like that, and the acting is pretty good, and the story is pretty good too. I don't know, it's just a nice little sci-fi thing that I'd like to see more of. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite?
Yeah, Chris, you and I watched some of those most recent episodes together, right?
Yeah, because you hadn't seen the most recent season, and I
and I had my new awesome TV to watch it on, and
yeah,
there was that scene with 11 is like out of like a compound, and there's like a helicopter with a sniper on her, and I'm just like, shoot her already.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you waiting for? Then of course she uses her powers or whatever to bring the helicopter down. It's like, you idiots, you had the chance right there. I don't know why I was rooting for the bad guys, but you know,
just change it up. Do you guys have a favorite character on the show?
What's the guy's name? David Foster, the sheriff guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know his
Hopper.
Yeah. But the actor's name is like David Foster or something like that. He's awesome.
He's great. Let's see. I really like what's his name? Steve.
Yeah, he's good. I like
didn't Steve start off as like sort of like a douchebag jock guy and then you end up loving him? Yeah. Really good stuff.
So when this show debuted, when it was released, I wasn't expecting much. I wasn't. Prior to this, Netflix hadn't really done anything besides House of Cards that I was like, that's pretty good. They had a few other shows that they released, some originals that I didn't think were very good, weren't very interesting. Hemlock Grove was one of them. I remember big deal about that, and I tried watching it, just never got into it. But Stranger Things arrived, and the music alone, from the beginning, I was like, what is this? This is cool. This is different. And the Goonies vibe, I love that.
Definitely.
The kids and the Stephen King It, I love that novel, that vibe too. Also, and the story was good. Winona Ryder was good. Post her being like a kleptomaniac, and stealing shit from a department store, she got like ridiculed for that, and she was like out of the limelight for a number of years, and then she came back with like Stranger Things. So yeah, that and Hopper and Dusty, the funny kid with the braces.
Yes, yep. Dusty was awesome.
I love the fact that they were playing D&D. I thought this is so cool because you don't see a lot. D&D was never like a big thing. or not never. It wasn't like you're not used to seeing it on any sort of show that
It's
would
not a
become.
media thing. It's not a commercialized thing.
Well,
A
yeah.
lot of people were a lot of people back then especially were like it's demonic and you
Oh,
know
Satanic Panic.
Oh, yeah, that
satanic
was the whole
and
thing.
that was
Yeah.
the whole thing behind it. So it really wasn't that was the what the media covered from it. And other than that, it really wasn't like a commercialized thing, you know. A lot of it was like
Yeah, it wasn't
yeah,
very popular. Like, so if
right.
you were to have
Right.
something like a show based on people who played Dungeons and Dragons, you wouldn't expect 50 million people to watch that.
Right.
That's a niche thing. That's a small group of people. Maybe popular, maybe a million people, but you're not going to get great ratings with that. But that wasn't the case. And it was cool how they tied that game of Dungeons and Dragons they were playing with the first season story. With the creature that they were fighting is the creature that
Oh
they're fighting.
yeah, that was really neat.
So I thought that's cool. So I thought going into it that there was going to be more Dungeons and Dragons type thing, like it was going to be a mixture too, but it wasn't exactly the case. They they turned it on its head, which in a way I'm glad that they did because I wouldn't want to be able to predict what the hell what's going to happen. So I liked L11. The only bad episode in the entire series is the one where she's on her own and she like meets someone else that's kind of like her and the dress is all gothic and it's
Oh yeah, she like joins up with like a God, yeah, she like goes to, like New York City or something
yeah,
and
just
hangs out with a bunch of punks or some crazy shit.
goes home. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of holes, a lot of plots that just aren't coming together or haven't come together yet.
Yeah, and like every season like just builds upon the previous one. It's like a bigger monster every time.
Oh yeah. And Will getting like stuck in the upside down place and that affecting him and you see the end of the season 1 he's still got visions and you're like okay they're not out of the woods yet and then at the end of the season you think that Nancy's going to be with Will's brother but she's still with Steve even though he was this douche all season long and Will's brother saved I can't remember his name but saved Nancy and Steve and all them so each season has gotten better than the previous one, and it's one of the best shows I've seen in the last 10 years for sure. And I'm really looking forward to the final season.
Oh
really,
yeah.
Oh, will it be the final one?
Yep. That's it. They're done playing. I don't even think any of the kids actors want to do it anymore. That's all they've been doing for like.
They're all adults now.
Yeah, exactly. So
I really liked Eddie Munson.
Eddie in the most current season, yeah.
Yeah. When he played Master of Puppets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
And
it turned on a whole bunch of kids or younger people to old school Metallica.
Yeah.
I thought was great.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's
and I remember watching that and watching his fingers. I'm like, holy shit, he's actually playing Master of Puppets, or at least mimicking it. Perfectly.
He learned how to play it specific.
Yeah.
One. Yeah. So that's just and that's not an easy song just to pick up and learn to play. Time. So
right.
Yeah,
that's the first song I ever learned all the way through on guitar.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you. That will do it for TV shows that debuted in 2016. Top 10 TV shows of 2016 in basic television. The number one show on TV, The Big Bang Theory. The number second. The number 2 show on TV for 2016 and 2016. NCIS. Number 3 was Sunday Night Football. Number 4 was Thursday Night Football. Number 5 was the show Bull. I don't know. Number 6 was This Is Us. Number 7 was Blue Bloods, with Marky Mark's brother and Magnum PI. 8 was NCIS New Orleans. 9 Dancing with the Stars. 10 NCIS Los Angeles. It seems to be like it's kind of like 4 shows just with different variations, and they make it top 10. Fucking hell, everything's
it's only elderly people watching this shit.
Yeah,
that don't know how to use streaming services.
Absolutely. All right, now we get to the worst TV shows to debut in 2016. A couple TV shows based off of movies, trying to make into they do this from time to time. Like I remember in the early '90s there was a bunch of attempted shows about John Hughes movies like Uncle Buck and The Breakfast Club and whatnot. So, but for 2016 we've got Rush Hour, the TV show Rush Hour.
What?
I don't know,
Seriously?
yeah, exactly. Like, come on. How do you Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker? Lee.
Is it them again?
Oh no! Oh God, no! They said no. They just got some random Asian actor and random black guy.
Oh, I see.
Rush Hour. Yeah. Another worst TV show debut in 2016. The show Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon. The TV show
What?
Lethal Weapon. Yes. Yes. And the last worst TV show to debut in 2016 was the show Fuller House. Fuller House. I remember I watched the pilot episode of Fuller House, and I thought they could have ended the whole thing there. Really, Fuller House could have been done in one episode as a reunion of sorts.
Yeah.
Where it just kind of catches up, and it all. There's no. How do you? I hated every little kid on that fucking show. Everyone was annoying. Every daughter or son to the other Tanner kids, hated them all. All those kids, fire them. None of it. The story was sucked. Nobody cared. It just seemed like a cash cow grab sort of.
Wait,
nonsense.
how many episodes did you watch?
I watched the first season.
Oh my god!
I watched the whole thing.
Well, that's on you, man.
I know it's on me. All right.
I saw it was on Netflix, wasn't it?
I look. It all dropped at once. So it wasn't like I was waiting week to week.
Right. Yeah, I saw it on Netflix. I'm just like, no, I don't think so.
Well, I watched the first episode and I was like, well, that's a nice callback. That's a nice callback. That's kind of
that's how they get you.
And then I watched the second episode and I was like, this kind of. I mean, it's not good. Full House wasn't a good show, but like, yeah, it's just somehow even worse. It's just so corny and lame, and just terrible and not funny and not worth watching. Yeah, just an absolutely dreadful show. Fuller House.
And then after the second episode, dude, you're involved, so you have to fucking finish it.
Well, I mean, I was ripped the entire time.
Okay, that helps.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit there sober and watch Fuller House.
I don't think anybody was.
Right mind would sit there sober and watch Fuller House. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That will do it for TV shows of 2016. And we will now move into our final section of the podcast at the video games of 2016. All right. And for the PS4 on September 15th, Persona 5 was released. Persona 5. JRPG game with lots of crazy extra shit. There's so much that you can do in this game, and I don't understand why you would bother. Like, I'm sure it has like benefits as a character because it's a JRPG, but still they're having you do class like homework. They have you do like quiz questions, and you've got to get it right, and it's like legit homework that one would have. Or you got to do like this crazy crossword puzzle. And it takes you an hour just to get through that. And so, like, yeah, I think it's like a 150-hour game just to complete it. It's so ridiculous, but yeah.
Whoa. What game is this? I ran to the bathroom real quick.
Persona 5.
Persona? Oh, okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah. It's just you're like you're a kid in school with all your classmates, and you've got relationships to maintain and homework to do, and it's like legit, it's actual homework. And if you get the answers right, it benefits characters, and you've got other things that you're doing on the side, that part of the story, and the whole thing is just like this endless. Yeah, and I mean, it was interesting to try and solve a crossword puzzle, but it's not like a video game I want to play. I don't want to sit there.
I was gonna say a video game should be like a fun escape,
right.
not real life all over again.
Tell that to Nick. Tell that to Nick. Nick wants the game that's as realistic as you possibly get.
Yes.
Yeah. but we'll move on to on June 29th in 2016 on June 29th the Xbox One game Inside was released. Inside. On May 10th for the PS4, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End was released. Nathan Drake's last hurrah. On September 27th for the Xbox One, Forza Horizon 3 was released. That's their Xbox's version of Gran Turismo, basically. I played the Forza Horizon games. They're all right. I prefer old school Grand Theft Auto. I prefer Grand Theft Auto, but Gran Turismo 2. I just like that.
Yeah, I played maybe it was the second one, an Xbox 360.
Yeah.
But I'm not into racing simulation games. I like arcade racing games.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get you. The only one I ever enjoyed was Gran Turismo 2, I think, or 3. That was PS2, maybe? But other than that, Mario Kart. That's about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. On May 24th for the PC, the Xbox One, and the PS4, the game Overwatch was released. Overwatch, which was a lot like this other game called Paladin, I think it was called. Paladins, maybe? I remember playing Paladins, and then someone introduced me to Overwatch and being like, this is the same fucking game. But what gives? But this one was made by Blizzard and was a huge hit when it came out. It was like one of their biggest games, if I'm not mistaken, and was well liked from pretty much anybody who ever played it. And it became a big esports game, Overwatch competitions.
Free to play, right?
Yeah, free to play. That's a big thing.
Yeah, I tried it and I didn't really care for Overwatch or Overwatch 2 or anything like that.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. But I played Paladins, and to me it was more like a third person style of like League of Legends, like how League of Legends is, or like Dota, defensive the agents.
Tower defense.
Yeah. And it's basically got like these minions, and you take out these towers and you defend your own and they defend their own, and but it's Paladins is kind of like that, but it's also like third person. But with Overwatch, it's got like different game modes and different like classes that you can be, like support and tank and all that stuff.
It's like a Team Fortress 2, right?
Right, so a lot like Team Fortress in that sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I never played it.
On April 12th, the game for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4, Dark Souls 3 was released.
Oh yeah.
And I never played that one. Brad, you played that one, right?
Oh yeah. Much more much better graphics, sleeker gameplay. It was like Bloodborne mixed with Dark Souls, basically, because Bloodborne was like a step up from the other two Dark Souls games. I don't know what else to say about it. Really good.
Is it your favorite Dark Souls game?
No, my favorite Dark Souls is 1.
Gotcha.
Because of how janky and isolating and atmospheric it is.
I know. One day I'll play them. Sekiro, I'm stuck on. I'll get through that one.
Oh, you're playing Sekiro now? Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't picked it up in forever, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one's it's different than Elden Ring or all the Dark Souls.
I wish I could play Bloodborne, but
Oh man, Bloodborne was incredible. But out of all the From Software games, Elden Ring is the best. Definitely.
I still need to play Elden Ring. I haven't played it yet.
Elden Ring.
Ooh boy,
so good. Such a good game. And the DLC is coming out soon. Well, June, but soon. All right, we'll move on here. On May 13th for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4, Doom was released.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. Good heavy metal soundtrack.
What's up?
Good metal soundtrack. Good heavy metal soundtrack for Doom.
Oh yeah, that soundtrack was like brutally like heavy, like down-tuned guitars and industrial noises, but the game itself was just like no nonsense, just fucking kill everything. It was so much fun.
I remember you playing it.
I just remember I remember like at the beginning like you wake up as Doom Guy and he has like a screen comes up and this, I don't know who it was, I don't remember who the character was trying to explain the situation, like you must you must do this and that, and then your character just like breaks the screen and grabs a gun and just starts blowing away everything. Just like fuck the story, fuck all that, we just go and kill demons.
It's good. I remember playing what I played. I enjoyed it. It was fun, but I never actually played like a Doom game, so maybe I'll give it a chance someday. On October 7th for the PC, Xbox One, PS4, and Stadia, the game Mafia 3. Mafia 3 was released on October 7th.
yeah.
I've
Mafia
never,
3.
Nick has played it. He was actually talking about it.
Yeah, I never played it.
Yeah. What's that? You included what?
I included it because I knew you were talking about it, and I saw it. And I was like, well, I've never played it. Brad hasn't played it, but if Nick's there, he's played it, and he'll be able to speak on Mafia 3.
Yeah, for sure. So it's unlike any of the other Mafia games if you've ever played any of them. And the other Mafia games, you kind of already able to be a made man or tied in with the mob in some way or another. And in this game, you kind of are already, but it's in a totally different time period. It's not like anything that you'd think of, like in the sense of when you think of like the mob, you think of like Godfather era, like 1940s, 1920s, things like that. This was actually in the 60s and it was like the late 60s, early 70s, and you play as a character who just got out of the Vietnam War, and you play as an African American, and you're actually kind of involved with some of the crime going on in the area, and it's totally different than any of the other Mafia games in that sense, but also in the sense of that it's open world, and I love the game. I think it's the best out of all of the Mafia series. Everyone would say that the second one's the best, but I personally think the third one's the best because it's got my favorite style. It's like you get to drive 60s cars.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is amazing in that game. And it's hard for a song to really repeat itself because there's so many songs in that game. And you're kind of in like this, basically in New Orleans. And so it's a really cool reimagining of the 60s New Orleans, and because you do play as a black guy, the cops treat you differently. There's different neighborhoods that are actually not so like run down, that they'll treat you differently too. It's cool. So it deals with a lot of racial tension because it's kind of part of the game, and it's incredibly like violent. So pretty gory. Good story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really
All right.
good. Recommend it.
On October 21st, 2016, for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4, the game Battlefield 1 was released. Battlefield 1.
Ah.
That's a game I played a lot of. I think I've got 1,500, something like that, sniper kills.
Right. Still play today, actually.
Today. Not today, but we still play.
Right. In this current day and age.
We played like a week ago, probably.
Right, yeah. And the servers are still open and running, and people are still playing, and honestly it's better than 5, it's better than 2042. So I'd say like the only other Battlefield game that was just as good as 1 until 1 came out was probably 3.
Right.
I'd really like them to just remaster like Battlefield Vietnam.
Yeah,
like, I think that would be insane.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Getting in a helicopter and blaring "Fortunate Son" as you
Right.
go with the flag.
Yeah, because that's how that game was. Remember, but it was like it would be so much better if they remastered it and with the next gen.
Right.
It'd be
Frostbite.
amazing. Yeah.
Remember Battlefield 1942? Did you ever play that?
Yeah, that was one of the first.
Yeah.
I played that one before Vietnam, actually. Yeah, that was the first one I played.
Yeah, that
Love
one
that
was
game.
fun.
They could remaster that one too. I'd definitely play that.
God,
I remember.
I don't know if it. Oh, well, okay. I think I don't know if it was Battlefield 1, but I played one of them, one of the newer Battlefields. I don't know how, if it was a demo or something, but I remember spawning next to like this building and like a ton of enemies came out, like bad, like a whole like group of 5 or 6
Right.
enemies, guys came out, like real guys, it was online.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything, but I was like freaking out, and I was a medic. And so all I did was like throw med packs to them. And then they killed me. And I saw them like looking down at my med packs and looking at me like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
That's awesome.
I've had some pretty funny moments in a Battlefield game. I think prior to me playing Battlefield 3, Halo Reach or Halo 3 was my favorite first-person shooter. And then I played that, and you could blow up buildings and do all sorts of. I was like, this is nuts. I like this so much more. And I really got into Battlefield for Battlefield 3. But I remember playing Battlefield 3 once, and a guy was in a Jeep, and I shot at him as he was driving by it, and I was like behind a wall, crouched, like a broken down building, but there was still a little bit of wall standing up, and I was like, laying down right behind it, And he backs up his Jeep. He's driving, obviously. He backs up the Jeep right in the hole spot, right where my gun is pointed. He just backs it up because he's like, I heard a gunshot. And he backs up right perfectly aligns with right at the end of my barrel of my gun. And he turns and he looks at this. Shoot him. Dead. Oh, he's dying. It's like, did he just kill himself? And like, it was too perfect. Like, he stopped it dead at his tracks and then backed up. And it was a decent amount of backing up. And he literally stopped right at the end of my barrel. Boom. Oh, crack me up. But no, lots of good times. A lot of rough times in that game as well. Things can get, shitty quickly. But anyway,
there's I just want to mention one more thing about Battlefield 3. I remember playing the game with my friend Dan years and years later, and after I had initially played it, he showed me this crazy part in thing in Metro. Remember the Metro level? There was outside there was a starting area. There's like a spawn area for one part of the team and then another spawn for another team, right? There's one spawn that was deep in the Metro, then there was one spawn that was outside, right? Like in this building before you entered the Metro area. Well, in that building where you'd spawn in, Dan showed me that you could like blow it up with C4 and like till you can't destroy it anymore, and then you can actually climb a certain kind of rubble to get to a spot where no other player, if they didn't know about it, would be able to reach. So on a conquest, you could just hold that spot and just shoot people, and they'll never see you.
Oh my!
So I remember he just did that, and yeah, rack up the kills. Yeah, he showed me all sorts of fun stuff on the Battlefield games. He was pretty wild.
Yeah, the last thing I'll mention is I remember coming home from work one day and you were in your pajamas. Like,
yeah.
Just like clearly you haven't done a damn thing, but you're
nothing.
Free all day.
Yep.
I come home and I'm like, oh dear God, my feet hurt. I'm like, put my stuff down and on the couch I look over and there you are. And I was just like, you haven't done a damn thing all day. Like, nope. All right. All right. The last two games I'm going to mention here that were released on July 6th for the Android and the iOS, Pokemon Go. We've already talked about that. Mm-hmm. And on September 27th for the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, the game XCOM 2 was released. XCOM.
Nice.
Love this game. So much fun. Yeah. So much fun making characters, making one individual type. One's your heavy gunner, one's your ranger, one's your sniper, one's your medic, one's your. It's like in that sense, and you strategically moving them around. You've got enemies over there. You've got enemies over here. Which one do you attack first? It's so fun game. Janky too. It's basically frozen up on us a number of times. We've actually
the permadeath is good too. That's it's such a big part of the RP element of it. If you lose someone that you made and and it's cool. There's actually like a memorial, tells you where they died, what battle it was, like how they died and stuff.
Whoa.
But cool. Yeah, you were saying that time that we crashed the game.
Yeah, the what was it, the chrysalids? We had
the chrysalids.
So basically, what's really cool, one of the many cool features, but you can play other players. You can do like a 1v1 where you can choose your own people, you can do like a limit for how much money you can spend. So
Yeah.
as long as you're within the limit, you can have as many characters as you want on the field. Well,
Right.
Nick and I just decided to. I think we probably did max money, and we filled everything
Yep.
we with chrysalids, which are these alien creatures that when they kill you, they lay an egg in you, and they birth more chrysalids. And so what we did is that we had nothing but two chrysalids, just armies at it, and they would just keep birthing more chrysalids. So it doesn't matter. Everyone died. Would just get those guys back, and it would just keep growing and keep growing. And
Yep.
eventually, the game just couldn't take it, and it just like,
It crashed on both of us. Yep. But what's great about all of this is that we didn't even tell each other. We never told each other like our strategy,
Right.
So like we went into it not knowing, and then we find out that we did the same exact thing. We chose to do all mass chrysalids.
Oh God! And
It's so funny.
yeah, I just the only thing
How many did you have when it crashed?
I would lost count. At least 24 on each side.
Oh yeah, for sure, easily.
Okay.
And it was funny too because it was like a turn away from, like, because it tells you, right? Like, you're like a certain turn away from the next chrysalids to appear from the corpse.
Okay.
So like just as that turn ended, we knew that there's all these chrysalids would then spawn, and it just crashed immediately as soon as the turn ended because the animation had to start. It's so great.
Yeah, there was I remember the one that sucked the most though is when it was a good fight between
Yeah.
and the game crashed or it just
Right.
froze up. I hated that.
Yeah.
And the percentage shit. I remember
Mhm.
when I was fighting Baller and I had him dead to rights. I have my heavy gunner. He's got it was like an 85-90% chance or something like that to
Uh-huh.
hit Baller. If I take this guy out, I've got the upper hand and I should be able to win. He turns, he fires, he misses every shot.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck? And it's just like that was it. That was the end of it. I
Right.
guess.
But
And
I've had a shotgun shot. Like I forgot to switch the gun for some reason. I shot shotgun like with like a 4% chance to hit, and it hits.
Yep.
Not only that, it's like a critical and it kills it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that doesn't make any sense, dude.
So if you can't put any sort of trust in the percent, why even show them?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. That will do it for games released that I'm going to mention positively for 2016. Now we're going to the worst video game of 2016. And it's also a tie-in. It's a movie tie-in with one of the worst movies of 2016.
Oh no!
It's for the PC.
It's not a Tyler Perry.
Is it
game,
the? I bet it's the Insurgents, Independence Day Insurgents video game.
Oh, that could be.
It's not independent. It's not Tyler Perry, Medea's video game. Nothing like that. For the PC, the Xbox One, and the PS4, on July 12th, Ghostbusters was released.
No.
Tie-in to the
No.
Because Ghostbusters is an action video game developed by Fireforge Games and published by Activision. The game is set sometime after the events of the 2016 film. The four protagonists from the film are only mentioned, though, as they are called away to Washington to save the president from ghost assassins. The game instead focuses on four different protagonists named Chaz, Meadow, Megan, and Bobby, who watch over and do the duties of the other four. The game is on an isometric 2.5D action game using a top-down camera. Up to four players can play at the same time, controlling one of the four characters. Each character has a different proton pack. Ghostbusters received strongly negative reviews, according to Metacritic. Polygon's Justin McElroy argued that the PS4 version was the most gruelingly insipid DualShock shooter he had ever reviewed, lacking variety insofar that it was a perfect prison of monotony from which no fun could ever escape. He criticized the game's poor characterization and humor, joking that it made a commercial for Ghostbusters cereal look like a 4K Blu-ray transfer of the 1984 film by comparison, and concluded that the game was a deplorable, cynical bit of licensed drivel that wouldn't be worth the $50 asking price if the instruction manual were printed on a $50 bill. GameSpot was similarly critical of the same PS4 version, noting a lack of variety in gameplay, environments, and enemy design, but did praise the soundtrack for evoking the proper nostalgia. GameSpot felt that the previous Sanctum of Slime game was marginally better, and concluded that Ghostbusters has rare moments when it doesn't feel like an utter waste of time, but it's mostly a bizarre slog through mostly empty, overly cumbersome levels full of extreme repetition. 3 days after the game was released, Fireforge Games filed for bankruptcy and ended up being approximately $12 million in debt.
Oh,
And,
no.
Man.
all right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Anyway, that will do it for our episode of 2016. Good to be back.
Woo!
All right. And with that, I hope you enjoyed listening to our conversation and will join us again for another installment of History with Hersefat. Don't forget to hydrate, exercise, and to like and subscribe to the podcast. All these things are essential for your health and well-being. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Watching some good friends screaming, let me out. Pray tomorrow, take me higher. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love that one more chance? Why can't we give love, give love, give love, give love, give love? Got nothing to lose, so baby, baby, let's go for it. Come on, let's go for it. We got nothing to lose, so baby, baby, let's go for it. Come on, let's go for it. We gotta reach for the sky, ain't no borders to hide. Go for it. Maybe you don't have to rush, you could leave a toothbrush at my place, at my place. We don't need to keep it hush, you could leave a toothbrush at my place, at my place.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, the evening TV. How did I get delivered here? Somebody tell me please. 'Cause this whole world is just really confusing me.